I'm not defining this by like the dictionary definition. I'm just going into vibes.
Oh,
What I
okay.
think
So
vibes
you're
are,
just all vibes
yeah,
over there.
of
All right.
romantic. Yeah.
Here's all I'm gonna say. I think this. I think that it depends on what you do when you do it publicly. Now, if you do some basic stuff, right? Like you get a billboard at a baseball game,
I was
or
literally just like, that's the
that's
tackiest way to propose to
that's the
anybody.
most like go to like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the most whack way to propose. It's a
uh,
fucking baseball game. Can you imagine, bro? You're both standing there in like a t-shirt and a baseball cap. You're like, it's sunny. There's something in your eyes. Like you both look goofy as hell, and you're like, this is the moment. Yeah, terrible moment. You
yeah, so
you
like
cannot
that's
propose to a woman if she's not like prepared to look her best in the moment, because she's gonna want to
she
take
wearing
pictures.
sweatpants and a
She
hoodie.
has to have her
She
nails done. She has to, you know what I mean? You have to, the girl at the very least has to have her nails just did because she's going to want to post a photo of her hand.
yeah,
And
imagine
she
she
has
posts her
to,
hand with some grimy ass fingernails.
exactly. And ideally,
She
you
got
want to do
dirt
it
in
in a
them and
setting where
shit.
she's
Oh
wearing
my god.
something that makes her feel as beautiful as possible because she's going to want to post photos. So obviously you gotta do it then. You do it at a fucking sporting event. Like humans at the best can only look about 40% of how good they normally look at a sporting event. You cannot cross that threshold. You will look like shit at a sporting event, period.
Welcome to another episode of Couch Coach the podcast, featuring an all-star staff of the best to never do it. Without a couch, you're just a coach. Without a coach, it's just a couch. With both, you're one of us. Remember, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you got some shit to say, leave a comment. We might give you your flowers, or we might call Cap. So that shit best not be whack. And for your first couch coach, we have the one and only Mr. Unlimited, Mr. 500, Mr. Bountiful Harvest, the only person I have ever seen get tackled on short stay in practice. He's a man of many names, but you can call him Johnny.
What's going on, good people? Feeling great, feeling inspired, feeling bountiful. And I'm ready to get
Bountiful.
into it today. I got a lot of hot takes, a lot of medium takes, but no cold, never
No
cold.
cold. Medium and hot, never cold. Never cold. I love it. I love it. For your second couch coach, we have the one and only Mr. Down Bad Giants fan. The man who dubbed the name Daniel Dones. The only person I've ever played in Madden who spams the running back passes. I call him Statman. You guys call him Marquise.
What's up, sexy individuals? How you doing today? Welcome to Couch Coach. You know, I'm the only guy here on a couch because I got to show what we're all fucking about. But go Giants. Here we come, first overall pick, and here we come for the fantasy championship. Johnny's pretty much eliminated from the playoff contention as of like 5 weeks ago. And Akira has a subpar team that's going to get eliminated first round. But let's talk about some hot topics NFL and what the hot gossip is happening. All right, boys, let's do it.
Woo!
That was fire. Lastly, we have yours truly, founder of Omnipresence Productions, the Couch Coach Pod. Some call me Akira, some call me Commissioner, but you can call me Coogii. Now, kicking off the show with a bang, with a level of unprecedented foresight, in the segment where shots in the dark become game winners. We won't call ourselves prophets, but if you do, we won't argue with you. It's time for Sportstradamus.
Sportstradamus.
Now, just starting, guys, just starting. We already have some predictions that may have come true and may not have come true. So we're going to have a recap. Where was Coogii wrong? First of all three road underdogs lost on Thanksgiving.
Brutally
So
wrong.
absolutely brutal.
Brutally wrong.
Now 2 were very
That was a
close. 2
horrible
were
one.
games at the end. 2 were games at the end. But it was brutal. It was brutal. Um, let's see. Johnny, where was Johnny wrong? Nico Collins did not get 180 yards against the Jags.
He had a really good game. He was the leading receiver in the NFL for that week up until Jerry Jeudy on Monday Night Football. So he did have a very good game, but not as good as I projected. But that's fine. That's fine. We all love Nico.
We all love Nico. You heard it here first, guys. Also, we have a debate now, guys. And I need all of you to chime in here. So John predicted last week that there was going to be a season-ending QB injury. Now, this past
There's
weekend,
two that we can touch on.
this past weekend, Taysom Hill got hurt for the entire season. Now, technically, he was not playing quarterback.
He doesn't. But he
is a
does
quarterback.
Play quarterback sometimes.
He's a quarterback.
does play-
He's a halfback. He's a
Other than that,
receiver.
He's a tight end on fantasy.
Yeah, he's listed as a tight end. So
We can't count it.
not necessarily, but I think there's a
Close, but no
chance
cigar.
that Trevor Lawrence got knocked out hard enough that I might have been right. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it shakes out. But there's a world where the Texans or the Jags are just like, you know what? We're not gonna risk it. We're not winning anything this year. We're not playing for anything. Let's just let him rest after he got brutally assaulted on the football field.
See that happening. I mean, they're not fighting for anything besides the first overall pick at this point with the Raiders and Giants. So if you really want to go in for the tank and just, get Travis Hunter or trade back and get a lot of assets to help out Trevor Lawrence, I mean, either way is good. But, I mean, if I was running the show, you could just make an excuse and say he's done for the year. But Trevor Lawrence hasn't been doing jack shit anyways. So who knows?
Is his season over, though?
I wouldn't say so. I think the smart thing to do is just shut him down. Why not at this point? Because you're just going to further risk injury. But the Jags have to sell tickets, and he'll be good. Probably not this week because there's a lot of trauma on the head, but I think he should be ready to go the following week after. But I mean, yeah, I just think the big thing is they got to sell tickets, and it's really hard to sell any if your starting quarterback is out and you're arguably the worst team in the league.
Weird. Old boy Chris Olave's been out for 4 or 5 weeks now with a concussion. So you don't know. You know, who knows?
Yeah,
So we'll see.
100%.
I feel great about my Saquon take though, still, because now it's just going to be Josh Allen who steals it from him instead of Lamar.
And Marquise with the only correct prediction so far from last week. Drew Lock, the boy, hold on. The boy, Drew Lock, starting, some way, somehow, he did it.
Yep. It wasn't, the way I thought it was going to happen, but I think, in my opinion, being a Giants fan, of seeing how bad and how unexplosive and how like barely any plays are made with Tommy DeVito at quarterback because he's so limited. I think that arm injury he had, that elbow injury he had that knocked him out for the Dallas game, I think he could have played because he did dress that day. And the Giants just need an excuse to start Drew Lock without causing any controversy. And because if they would have started Drew Lock and benched Tommy DeVito after 1 week, the whole media go like, oh, they don't know what the Giants are doing. But it was like, oh, perfect. He's semi-hurt where we can just, give him like pretty much a healthy scratch this week so he can get better and have Drew Lock start and see what we have in him. And I mean, it's not much. Drew Lock was pretty ass and did not change my opinion about him. And he had a few
some
good
nice runs.
runs.
He had some nice runs.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many quarterbacks who can run the ball and still be a horrible quarterback. I mean, I remember watching my family, and my whole family's diehard Giants fans. And the first try, they're like, oh, it looks pretty good. And I'm just like, guys, I promise you that was an anomaly. He's going to do something really bad. Don't worry. And before you know it, he throws a pick six on a screen pass he should never threw with a guy right in the way. I mean, he did not impress me at all, but, I'm embracing the tank. I want to get the first overall pick. I mean, I'm happy with Cam Ward or Shador because I cannot do Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito anymore.
And we'll get into some Cam a little bit later. But yeah, so now guys, we have to make some more predictions. It's time.
I'm ready.
Some more predictions. I'm gonna lead it off. I got some bold predictions. Now, me and John were talking a little bit last night. I don't think I took any of his. I forgot what he was saying. My first prediction. There will be 3, not 1, not 2, 3 AFC West teams in the playoffs.
Okay.
I mean, they're in the playoffs right now, so I don't think it's too unreasonable.
It's not unreasonable, but a lot of people they're doubting that team in Denver, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But they're doubting that team in Denver.
Who do you believe in the AFC? This is a rhetorical question, but who do you believe in the AFC that's outside of the playoffs right now?
Dude,
I believe in none of those teams. Zero of those teams.
And these Bengals fans, man, they think they can come back. They'd have to literally win 4 games, and we have to lose 3.
Yeah, no, it's lunacy. Lunacy of the highest caliber.
I'm like, bro, you're kidding me. But it's not locked up yet. So, 3 AFC West teams in the playoffs. My second prediction, I think John might love this one. He might not agree, but I think he'll respect where it comes from. The Bills, the Buffalo Bills, are going to be one and done in the playoffs. No wins for Josh Allen and the Bills this year. More than likely going to play at home. They will play at home, and they're going to lose. One and done.
Because he's assuming that they're going to get the Broncos in the first round. That's where he's coming from. I already know. Yeah, I already know where that prediction's coming from.
I mean, I don't know anything just yet. We might have that 6th seed. We might have that 5th seed. Just if Baltimore keep fucking up, you know what I'm saying?
It's 2 legitimately hard defenses that they'd likely have to play against, whether it's the Broncos or the Chargers. So it's not a bad
the Ravens.
Yeah, at least the Ravens.
They're going to play the Broncos, Chargers, or Ravens.
The Bills boat raced the Ravens. Oh, no, it was the other way around. My bad. The Ravens boat raced the Bills. So who knows? Yeah, any of them.
One and done, baby.
Be a problem.
Bye, Buffalo. Anyway, third prediction. Now, this one is real bold. This is real bold. I was in the car on the way home. 2-hour drive. I had a lot of time to think. I spent an hour of that just thinking, festering here. What are my predictions? And this third one is bold, guys. I think this week there's going to be a quarterback and a wide receiver, respectively, that are going to eclipse what Jameis Winston did for passing yards this week and what Jerry Jeudy did for receiving yards this week. This week, mark it down. A receiver and a quarterback, respectively, are going to beat those marks this week.
That's 497 passing yards and over 200 receiving yards. That's
like 230 they have to pass, I think. So that's a little far fetched, but
listen.
Yeah,
I mean, you will be sports Stradamus if you get that right.
I said what I said, and I meant it when I said it.
All right. Well, I have my takes here. I have a couple of predictions. Got 2 for this week, and I've got 1 for the playoffs. First off, I will go with the fun one. This is just a fun one that I think is interesting. But looking over the games, I am predicting not a single upset on Sunday or Monday, and that might be hinting at a pick that I'm going to make later in this episode. But not a single upset Sunday or Monday. Every single favorite team will win Sunday and Monday, but not necessarily Thursday. Then my second pick, this one's a little meaner. It's not very nice, but I've been watching this for a bit, and I think it's over. I'm predicting that this game, the Kirk Cousins revenge game against the Vikings, will be his last game starting for the Falcons this season. My prediction is that he is going to look bad again, and he's going to embarrass himself on that field against a really good defense, and the Falcons are going to go, look, we're fighting for a knife in the mud in this division to win it and make the playoffs. And the Bucs are hot on our trail. We cannot keep on losing because we have a quarterback that can't move and hasn't thrown a touchdown in 3 weeks. We have a really good, ready to go rookie first round quarterback that deserves a shot. Sorry, Kirk, but we can't count on you. So, because in this game, it's like Kirk has to win. He has to win it not only to secure that he doesn't suck, but to also beat his old team. I mean, this is a must win for Kirk. If he doesn't win, I think the Falcons might go, look, we can actually make the playoffs, and you're just not doing it. You have lost us the last 3 games. So that's my mean prediction. And my other one, after seeing this week, after seeing my beautiful Steelers keep up offensively with probably the best offense in the league, I have to say I am confident Pittsburgh Steelers AFC Championship. At least.
Okay.
That is, I wouldn't have said that last week, but this week after watching that game, Pittsburgh Steelers AFC Championship. I wanted to say Super Bowl, but I'm not confident. If they make it to the Super Bowl, it means in all likelihood they have to beat the Chiefs and the Bills. I don't know if they can do both, but I think they can do one. So there's my prediction.
Okay. I like it.
What do you have for your bold predictions, Marquise?
All right. So my first bold prediction, this is for after this season going to next season. My first one is the Browns will elect to re-sign Jameis Winston. They will not have opportunity to draft a quarterback of their liking in the first round. And Jameis Winston will beat out Deshaun Watson and be the starter next season. Okay. My second bold prediction is the Kansas City Chiefs are going to get the number 1 seed, but this will be the first year ever Patrick Mahomes doesn't go to a championship round.
Wow.
I think I think they're because I gotta say this is probably the Chiefs have had luck on their side this season. And not to take anything away, I mean they're a spectacular team. Patrick Mahomes is probably the greatest quarterback I've seen, up there with only like 3 guys in my life. But I just think they're not going to be on the winning side of a one play in the playoffs at first divisional round, and they're going to get knocked out. And another bold prediction, I would say that it will be Buffalo and Ravens in the championship round. And LaMarvelous Jackson will carry his team and score over 40 points on the Bills in the championship to finally get to a Super Bowl.
Okay.
And those are my bold predictions.
So you think that someone who could knock we're talking the worst seeded team that the Chiefs could play in the divisional round, or the best seeded team that they could play possibly is the Texans. So you think the Texans could knock the Chiefs off?
Well, I kind of screwed my third bold prediction will have to be either like the Ravens will have to meet them and actually finally beat them in the playoffs.
Right, I guess it would be the Ravens.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, so I guess that we'll go back into my bold prediction is the Ravens will face the Chiefs in the divisional round and knock them out.
Okay. Man.
I just see it happening. I just feel like because to three-peat in the league, it's never been done before. I mean, if there's any quarterback I could think that could do it is Mahomes. But the way, we've been watching this year, there's so many games where they could have lost, like, the Denver game, obviously. Like this past week when the Raiders literally had the game in their hands and they still somehow won off a fumbled snap. I'm just saying the Chiefs' luck is going to run out in these close games. They're going to be on the losing side of
I'll never doubt I'll never doubt the Chiefs in the playoffs because we all have seen it a million times
I
that
know,
Reed
I
does
know.
not open his entire playbook until the playoffs.
100%.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
100%.
right.
Well, I gotta say, like, as like, not like when because I have no bias because my team is in the NFC and we suck anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't mind when I see a great team keep on winning Super Bowls because, we're there to witness greatness and I love witnessing greatness. And I have no ill intention when it comes to like, rooting against a team if they're so good. Like if my team sucks, I'll admit it and I'll watch greatness when it happens. I love it.
I'm
Like
I'm so
LeBron,
fine with the Chiefs dynasty. I have no
yeah,
beef
yeah,
towards them,
yeah.
no ill
So
will.
you understand, and it's like LeBron, like I root for greatness. Steph Curry, I root for greatness. Tom Brady, I rooted for him. Besides when the Giants beat him in the Super Bowl, obviously. So I mean, that I would be happy with winning the Super Bowl again. I would love to see Lamar do it. And, I like Bills Mafia kind of annoys me, but it would be pretty cool to see Bills win a Super Bowl and actually go into Buffalo because it's right down the road for me and watching the whole city burn to the ground. But
I
if I had to root for any team though, Detroit Lions are definitely
Detroit.
definitely man.
Detroit
Obviously,
Lions.
they're the most
Man,
they're the most likable
don't
team in the
man me.
league. They're the most likable team in the league. Like their coach is like so likable. I mean, their team is just built old fashioned ground and pound, good defense. Like you gotta love what you watch. Like that is the best constructed roster in the league. And Jared Goff,
I
I just love how that dude is balling out now too. That dude is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league, and I
No, he's a
think,
good dude. I mean, I'm rooting for him, but it's like, man,
yeah,
if
They
my
also
team's
had a good defense until Thanksgiving, and then we
yeah,
watched their entire defense get carted off to the sideline piece by piece.
yeah.
And that's why I don't think they're going to win on Thursday.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
interesting.
Well, you know what, guys? There's a lot of games that we have to get into, and we'll get to those. But next, we have Marquise's favorite segment, Coach of the Year, where we determine which coach is crowned Couch Coach of the Year through weekly picks. Think you can beat us? Submit your picks for the week by the start of each week's Thursday night game in the comments for a chance to be featured on a future segment. Now, guys, last week there was a big shakeup in the standings, and we have a lot to discuss. First place. First of all, you know what? Let's give props where props is due. The best record last week, the best record any week so far by win percentage. The man who said, you know what? I'm just going with favorites. He said, you know what? Stop thinking so hard. Let's just pick. John, 14-2. 14
Let's
and
go,
2.
baby.
Yes, sir.
This man was
I
two
picked a couple
games.
notable underdogs, though. Mostly the Steelers were a 4-point underdog. And I thought anyone that didn't pick them was crazy. But continue. I'm sorry.
Ooh, we won't talk about that comment there. 2 games from a perfect week. We might have to have a little prize for the first perfect week. We might have to have a little prize money go around for whoever gets the first perfect week. Or maybe every time there's a perfect week, we'll give you a little shout out. You guys in the comments, but also John Marquise. You know what I'm saying? Let's $50. First perfect week.
Okay.
We'll put out $50.
Okay, but
I'll take it.
Second best record this week, Marquise at 12-4. Third, the worst best record in this week. And you guys kind of called it last week when you said my Thanksgiving Day predictions were going to
yeah, those were so bad.
they were going to
Horrible.
throw off my week. But listen, I said there was going to be 3 road dogs. I'm standing by it. I'm not going to say it and not stand by it. We didn't have it happen. So that tanked my record realistically. If I had picked who I should have picked in those games, if we're just being clear here, I would have had 3 more wins. I would have the best record by one game. But as the rankings currently stand, and it's only fair, first place is a tie right now. We have Marquise, and we have Johnny. Now, here's what I'm going to
Let's
say.
go.
The tiebreaker is going to be this. If you guys are tied at the end of the season, the tiebreaker is going to be who wins the trivia.
Oh.
All right,
And
if it's
I
just
keep
normal
and I know what the
stats, I will
record
win.
is. And I know what the record is. Oh, it's going to encompass everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even if you lose a couple because it's not just stats, John might lose a couple because it is stats. So it's going to be a mixed pot. But that'll be the tiebreaker. I don't think it's going to finish a tie. I think there's a clear favorite that's going to break away. He's talking right now. But anyway, this week we have some games, guys. We got to make some picks.
Wait, Coogii, tell the crowd what their total records are so far.
You don't deserve to hear that.
Nah, you got to tell them that people want to know. They have spoken.
Marquise and John tied for first place at 29 and 14.
Okay, I'll take
Not
that.
bad.
Not too bad.
Coogii just behind, 27 and 16.
It's not
All
that bad. Not that big of a deal.
Oh, it's not
Not
that bad.
at all. It's
Not
better
that-
than
not
any of
that
the
bad.
ESPN analysts.
Two games lower, and you guys are, oh, not that bad. You motherfuckers. Anyway, we got some picks this week, guys. We're going to go rapid fire edition here. We have
I already
Packers
got mine.
at the Lions. I bet you do. Packers at the Lions
Lions.
Thursday night.
Packers.
Lions. Oh,
You're going
okay.
Packers. That's the only upset I'm picking this week, and it is the Packers because the Lions defense has been brutalized, and it's a division game. I just think Packers, and I believe the Packers are at home. So for all
But,
those
I mean,
reasons,
the Packers do have a good defense. I gotta say.
It's at the Lions.
no, it's at the Lions. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change
Nah, the
anything.
Lions are winning. No one can stop the Lions rushing game in the league.
Okay. I also have the Lions. I don't want to, but I gotta make smarter picks. We'll get a dog this week, though. Bills at the Rams.
Bills.
Bills.
Bills by a mile.
I'm going Bills. Saints at the Giants.
I hope
Rizzy
the Saints-
Magic. Running
I hope,
back.
I hope the Saints, but I could see the Giants fucking up the first pick and winning this week, but I hope the Saints.
I love Drew Lock. I can't pick him again right now. I got the Saints as well. Did I also tell you guys I got the Bills too? That hurt my heart, but I got the Bills.
Easy.
Browns at the Steelers.
Steelers. Man,
This is
that's
where I'm
crazy.
going
A
with
turnover.
I'm going
That
with it.
turnover's crazy. They just played each other. That's who the hell
know,
scheduled that?
They
I hate
stack
when that.
all of our division games are in the last 8 weeks.
That's crazy. That's such bad scheduling. I do not like that.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it.
I'm gonna go. My prediction. From a prior episode, way back. Steelers. The record, and they're getting on that threshold. So I got to go Browns again. Browns already beat them. Browns already beat
Steelers
them.
are
They
winning.
already beat them. And listen, Jameis
Not an
is
awful
hot.
pick this week.
Jameis is
They're
hot.
hot. They're hot.
Judy is
Not
hot.
James. I don't know. Jameis is
If I
hot,
had
or he's like
if I
hot
had a
and cold.
fourth prediction, I'd say Judy's gonna go for 150 this week. But we only got 3, so we keep it pushing. I got the Browns. We have Falcons at the Vikings.
Vikings.
I already told you, brother. Vikings by a mile.
I'm going Vikings as well. I picked the Falcons last week because I said do or die, and they already died, so there's no more
They
do.
died.
There's no more do. They already died. Raiders at the Bucks.
Bucks. Baker Mayfield. He'll carry that team to win.
Baker, touchdown maker.
And plus, my other bold prediction: Mike Evans is going to finish over 1,000 yards, and he has to average over 95 yards per game for the rest of the games this season. Mike Evans is going to eat.
He had some yards last week, but he's got to go
Yeah.
off. He's got to go off.
Yeah, 95. I mean, it's doable. He's like the only target left. It's him and Sterling Shepard, who's washed for like the past 3 years. I mean, 95 yards is so doable when you have a gunslinger like Baker Mayfield throwing the ball.
It's possible, but I just don't think it's probable. We'll say that.
I think it's doable.
Panthers. We have the Panthers at the Eagles.
No,
Eagles.
I'm messing Eagles. That's so easy.
This is my dog of the week.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's my dog of the week.
Okay.
Did I say it's my dog of the week?
I think
It's
you
my
Yes, you
dog
did.
of
did.
the week.
Coogii,
It's
if
my
you
dog
get
of the
this
week.
one, you should give yourself 2 points because they're a minus 12.
Bryce
Yeah.
Eagles
Young.
minus 12, I believe, is
Bryce
the line.
Young, since he's taken over, has 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Now the touchdowns needs to be a lot higher, but I like the picks. I like the picks. I'm going Panthers, but you guys are going Eagles. I like that. I gotta catch up on 2 games anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming quick.
There's only 2 favorites that I don't feel great about, but I made my prediction and I'm sticking with it. And I'll tell you which ones.
We have the Jaguars at the Titans.
That's Titans.
Oh yeah, I would say Titans. I mean, yeah,
Titans.
Trevor Lawrence is not playing, and I mean, Jags are the worst team in the league, like
Mhm.
top bottom 3 team in the league, anyways.
Yeah, I'm going.
Good defense versus probably the worst starting quarterback in the league right now. I'll take it.
I'm going
Titans.
Titans as well because the Jags are dog shit doo doo right now. Mac Daddy
Mhm.
Jones, we'll see what he can do. I don't know.
Nothing.
We then have the Jets at the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Aaron
I mean, the
Rodgers.
Jets' pride is completely killed at this point, and the Dolphins are gonna try and make a push because how much talent they have on their team, and I mean, the Dolphins have the better coach, obviously, too. Yeah, I mean, I would say he sucks, but he's definitely washed as hell. He's not that good anymore. If I had to give him overall ring, a man, it's like a 76, 75.
I think he sucks. I think
I
he's
mean,
a he's
like for Aaron
trash.
Rodgers standards, he sucks. But I mean, he's better than pretty much any backup in the league, I guess.
Yeah,
He's
you
like,
know what? I would say he's probably better than almost every backup except Justin Fields. I would rather have Justin Fields as my quarterback than Aaron
yeah,
Rodgers right now.
I
Easily.
guess like Aaron Rodgers can't move at all anymore. But I mean,
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers plays competent football, but I mean, he's just a bottom 10 quarterback in the league now. Like bottom 10 starter in the league now. I mean, he just can't move and lost that arm talent. Like lost a bunch of arm talent. So yeah,
Sucks.
it's unfortunate, but yeah, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Dolphins. We then have the Seahawks at the Cardinals.
Oh, that's a toss up.
This is the one that I didn't feel great about, but
I'm choosing the Cardinals.
the Cardinals are favored in this game, and
Yeah,
I
I'm
am.
choosing.
The line's moving down last I checked, but I think this is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has ups and downs, and I think he's due for an up. He's due for an up. I think 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think Kyler Murray's gonna get back at the Seahawks and win this one.
Yep. I'm ready. Kyler Murray, Cardinals.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals too. These Seahawks, man, they show you it. They make it seem like they're trying to lose, and the next play they're trying to win, and then they're trying to lose again. Those 2 fumbles
they-
on the kick returns.
Yeah, they got to move on
Crazy.
from Geno pretty
Absolutely
soon. To be honest.
crazy.
That was a special teams clown show.
Yeah,
That game. That was awful.
All right, we have a lot of unanimous picks. We're gonna all either do really well or do really bad this week. We have the Bears at the 49ers.
This is the
Ooh.
other one I don't feel
This is
great
another
about.
dog of the week for me.
This is
what?
the one I do not feel good about. I don't want to pick this team, but
I'm picking the
they're a
Bears.
favorite. I
I'm
told you
picking
all
the
the favorites
Bears.
are going to win, and I'm going with the Niners.
I'm going with the Bears.
I don't want to pick against them, but I think I told you they're all going to win. All the favorites are going to
Well,
win on Sunday. So
I
Wait, you're
do
going with
like
the Niners, John?
going with the Niners.
I do like what's that rookie running back's name from the Niners that's gonna start this week? I mean, he's pretty.
Correndo.
Yeah,
Garendo.
I mean, he's pretty explosive from
Yeah,
what I've seen from
John's
him.
had the whole entire Niners backfield this year.
Yeah.
I'm not grabbing Corendo in the league. Okay, I'm going to be nice. People can claim him. Maybe I am.
No, don't worry. My little brother's claiming him, so
You
no.
got Deontay. That's so funny. All right.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Screw, because I have not had one waiver claim go my way all season because I'm in first place. So I'm like, screw these guys. They ain't gonna get another guy over me. So I'm like, yo, Deontay. put a place in for him. But yeah, it's just I feel like the Bears are gonna have a fresh breath from having a new coach. I think they're gonna have a little bit of extra added motivation. I think Caleb Williams. People have been shitting on him this year because his expectations were through the moon. But if you really look at stats, I mean, he's right up there with Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. They're literally
No, he's
all
good.
identical. Yeah, I'm just
He's
like,
good. He's just not winning.
yeah. I mean, and plus that the play calling for the Bears this year has been so bad. I can't believe because Caleb Williams, I thought would be like a 35 touchdown quarterback his rookie year. If he had like Andy Reid type coach, I think he easily could have.
Yo,
But
Marquise,
man,
your audio is a little
what?
blurry.
Oh, does it sound better now?
Talk again.
Does it sound better now?
A little bit.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
we're good.
Does
We're
it
good.
sound better now? Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I just think yeah, I think Bears are due for a win. I think they definitely could have won last week if it wasn't for like the biggest coach mishap, one of the biggest coaches mishaps I've ever seen with clock management. I think I 100% agree that was a fireable offense, and I mean it was like over 30 seconds on the clock, and when he got sacked, like we're couch coaches. And not a person sitting on a couch at home watching a game on Thanksgiving should assume, oh, they're going to call a timeout just to regroup, reset because it's 30 seconds. And you can call play, get a good amount of yardage, and spike the ball right after. But no, they don't snap the ball until 6, 7 seconds left in the game, which is the worst coaching display I've seen for clock management I think I've ever seen. That was you have to get fired after that because
Mhm.
a big thing about telling how smart a coach is common sense, and that lacked all common sense you possibly can have when you let like 25 seconds burn off the clock and you lose off of throwing a deep bomb. Everything about that was horrible. But yeah, the Bears, boom.
Of course. Then we have the Chargers at Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. I have another dog in this.
I'm choosing the Chargers.
I am going the Kansas City Chiefs
Hey, okay. I'm gonna catch a game on you right there.
at Arrowhead.
Wait,
Let's
hold
go.
on. My girlfriend wants to say hi. This is another couch
What up?
coach.
What up? What's up, assistant coach Lindsay?
Do you think your girlfriend's more of an offensive or a defensive coordinator?
As long as you don't say what Stio said that one time. And by Stio, I mean my homie. That's not named Stio. Completely made up name.
Yeah, bleep that out. Bleep
No,
that out.
I'm not bleeping that out. It's fine. He'll never see this. And if he sees this, that means we famous.
Ayo.
Ayo. Oh, what's up? How you doing? I can't hear because
We
it's
don't
on
hear
your
you.
head. That's fine though. Don't change your camera much more because we gonna have to adjust. You know what I'm saying? Tell Marquise though he's about to get all these picks wrong. Anyway, you're
I
going with
haven't heard a
Chiefs, John.
word.
You're going with
Yeah, I'm
Chiefs,
going with the
John.
Chiefs. I mean, there's a chance. Divisional game. Chargers are really good, but I think you're just not going to count out Pat Mahomes Sunday night. Extra rest
Right.
against at home. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers. I'm sorry. I
It's not
understood you,
unreasonable.
but I didn't listen. I'm going with the Chargers. And then Marquise, you said Chargers too, correct?
I don't hear you, brother. We do not hear you. Unfortunately, there is no sound coming from Marquise's end.
Hello,
Oh, hold on.
it's
Okay, I
me.
hear you now. I just heard you say, "Hold on."
I heard you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Not as loud as before, but yeah.
Okay.
Talk again.
Yeah, I think I think the
I
Chargers,
got you.
they're gonna win because the ground and pound attack, I think they're like that's gonna give them an opportunity because I mean the Chiefs defense is really good. But I think the Chiefs are going to have to respect the run game. And plus, Lad McConkey's coming alive now, too, which is pretty cool. And they're finally letting Justin Fields ball out, which is really nice because beginning of the season, they were winning a good amount, but I just hated how conservative of a playbook you're calling when you have an elite arm talent, Justin Fields throwing the ball. And now they're a lot more balanced when it comes to that. And I think Harbaugh has realized, holy crap, this is the best quarterback I've ever worked with by a country mile. And I just think, yeah, the Chargers are due to beat the Chiefs. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it too. I got it too. Bengals at the Cowboys. Monday Night
Cowboys
Football.
cannot keep
Whoa.
up with. I'm not picking the Cowboys.
Cooper
The Cowboys cannot
Rush.
keep up
Cooper
with
Rush.
that offense. There's no world they can keep up with
Yeah,
the Bengals
yeah,
offense.
Bengals are winning that. I mean,
Bengals.
the
You got
Bengals
the
have to win
Bengals?
out. Yeah. They're desperate. They're hungry. They
Crazy.
have to win. They have
No,
to
but
win.
you'd only beat the Bengals by keeping up with their offense, and the Cowboys cannot do that. Like that's the only shot you have. There has been
I
no
mean,
team this season except for the Patriots that have slowed the Bengals down. They've lost a lot,
actually,
but they score.
wait. Actually, the Giants did slow down their offense. They just couldn't score because their offense sucked. The
Oh,
Giants
okay,
shut down
yes,
their offense. Yeah, the
that was
Giants
early of week 2, right?
yeah, like when the Giants were defense was actually trying. They were like one of the best defenses in the league.
Well,
But then they was like, wait, our offense sucks, and they
can't
just
forget that Joe Burrow sucks for the first 3 weeks always, but
Yeah.
yeah.
like,
Since then they got 3 wins. So.
but right, but since then, but I mean I have it written down here just for the record.
By
Joe Burrow,
the way, finishing up, you guys both got Bengals, right?
Bengals.
Yeah,
I got Bengals.
obviously.
I got Bengals
Just
too.
for this, to read off, Joe Burrow leads the league in passing yards per game.
30 touchdowns, 5 picks.
30 touchdowns, leads the league in passing touchdowns. Has 30-5 for touchdown interception.
Damn, we
ratio.
got
That's the
reverse
third
stat
best in the league.
man.
Passer rating,
Reverse stat man.
passer rating, 4th best in the league.
Wait, let me guess.
107.4.
I was about to guess
Oh.
it, man. Come on,
Oh,
I had
sorry.
it in my head.
My man John
The-
said, "Fuck a stat man. I'm pulling out stats."
I just had to say that in the sense that if the Bengals had like 9 wins right now, he would probably be the MVP.
No,
how good he's playing.
Lamar
It's
would still be, but yeah, Bengals. I mean, Joe Burrow's having an MVP season, but Lamar's having the best
Lamar
season
is
of
now,
his
I
career.
believe, 3rd in MVP odds.
He's gonna win it.
It's
He
Josh
should,
Allen is number 1 and
but why
Saquon is
the
2.
heck? The thing is, Saquon, I can kind of understand because Saquon's having one of the best years ever for running back, but it's mostly a quarterback award. But Lamar is playing he's won MVP twice already, but Lamar's playing the best ball of his career. So let's think about it. His best MVP season was his first time, was 36 touchdowns, 6 picks, and 1,200 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. And then this year, he's on pace to pass for over 4,000 passing yards. Already has 29 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and he's gonna finish with about 800 to 900 rushing yards, but could explode a little bit higher because it's Lamar. He can have huge games. So he's on pace to pass for over 40 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards, which is ridiculous for how many rushing yards he's going to tag along with that. And if he wasn't on the Ravens would probably have 1 or 2 wins this season.
Yeah, but I resent the argument of using the word valuable in the MVP conversation, because then let's just make it a quarterback reward. When we say if we took him off the team, they would suck. You mean literally every team and literally every quarterback? Of course, every single good team, if you took their quarterback away, they would be bad. That's just how it works.
Right.
I mean,
So
if you
I'm
look at it,
now, mind you, this is how I see it. If Saquon Barkley passes Dickerson's record, even in 17 games, if he doesn't and doesn't win the MVP, just codify the MVP as a quarterback-only award and move on. Then
guys,
let's just put it in writing. Because there will be no way any running back will ever win the MVP award if he breaks a record and doesn't win it.
Okay, guys, ask you a question then. Would you understand, say if he loses out and does that still? if Lamar is the first ever quarterback to rush for over 1,000 rushing yards and over 4,000 passing yards and the long throws of over 40 touchdowns. That's pretty unbeatable. That's like one of the greatest quarterback seasons ever. And at that point, you kind of got to understand it. If it was like last year's Lamar Jackson MVP season and Lamar won it, that'll make no sense. That'll be such a like stolen MVP. But I think Saquon, the Eagles would still be one of the better teams in the league without him. Yeah, but I mean they have him and shown how good Saquon is when he has some open lanes. But
I don't think the Eagles are winning their division without Saquon. I don't think they're winning that.
the Commanders are mediocre. They won one game off a Hail Mary and another game because a team didn't have a kicker. They're not good. The Commanders.
Kenneth Gainwell was going to rush that team to the 2 seed. There's no shot.
A lot of guys could run behind the offensive line. They made DeAndre Swift look like one of the best backs in the league last year. I mean, they like even when they
better than Kenneth Gainwell. I don't the absolute staggering weight that Saquon's carrying on his back. Like I just feel like he is the face of this season as it goes. Like,
I mean, obviously he's having a fantastic year, but I mean, the Eagles, they have so many other weapons on their team. I know Devontae Smith's been hurt. I mean, Goddard's missing time.
I don't hear you at
I
all.
mean,
Say run it back.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Like
Run it back.
They have a bunch of other options on their team. I know Devontae Smith has missed some time. I know Dallas Goedert has missed a little bit of time. But I mean, you have guys like that. You have a top 3 offensive line. You have AJ Brown, who's you can argue is a top 5 receiver. I mean, there's so many. I mean, that their GM is the best general manager in all of NFL. Their roster's constructed so well. There's not a team close in the NFC East that will compete with them, with or without Saquon. And if they'd even signed Saquon, they would have gotten another running back to start in that system, regardless. But no, Saquon is number 2 in MVP. And if it wasn't for Lamar having his best MVP kind of season, then I would say he's a clear-cut number 1 by a country mile. But I mean, I can see Saquon winning it if Lamar slows down and just stays stagnant for the rest of the season and doesn't have a lot of big games. Then I think Saquon, if he rushes for over 2,100 yards this year, yeah, absolutely could win MVP. I mean, he's averaging 6.1 yards per carry, 1,499 rushing yards this year. I think he has over 200 receiving yards so far with a few receiving touchdowns on top of that. So, I mean, he could be on pace to break the all-time scrimmage at 2,500 that Chris Johnson set back in 2009. But, I mean, I would like to see him do it in 16 games. So then we don't have a lot of people saying, even old heads saying, oh, he did in 17 games. Why this guy did in 16? And I want to see Saquon clear that, and that would definitely help.
Somebody saying OJ is still the best. There's the best running back ever because he's the only one to rush for 2,000 yards in the 14 game season. It's like,
no, I understand what you're saying. But yards per carry and efficiency is a big thing, I think, for running backs. Like when you have a good situation around you. I mean, you can only go so far if you have a horrible offense line. But when you're averaging over 6 yards per carry, with Saquon averaging 6.1 yards per carry this year, like those are like eye-popping stats. They're like, holy crap, this guy is taking over. I mean, this season, I have a fun stat for you guys. The number 1 rusher in the league is 1,499 with Saquon, obviously. Then you have Derrick Henry behind him, who's was a 14 or like high 13s. Like, I mean, I think it's 1,400 on the dot, but Saquon already had his bye and Derrick Henry has yet to have his bye, so that's why it's so close. But the 4th leading rusher in the league this year is Saquon Barkley in the second half with like 978 rushing yards.
That's crazy. Yeah, I just think I'm twofold. I want Saquon. One is that I'm really tired of MVP being a quarterback only award. And I would really like to see it not be. And if you And if he doesn't, if he does break Dickerson's record and doesn't get it, then it's over, and it'll never be anyone but a quarterback. But B, the thing that's like bothering me right now is like you're making all these great arguments for Lamar, and I do get it, and I do like Lamar a lot, and I wouldn't like hate it if he won. But right now, the leading MVP odds is Josh Allen because MVP voters vote based off vibes. They don't care about
Yeah, yeah. If Josh Allen won it, I would go berserk because Lamar's clearly having a better year than Josh Allen.
Listen, guys,
and Saquon definitely should win it over him.
Say that the Ravens fall out of the 5th seed and go into the 6th. Would you would then?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they make the playoffs, yeah, because I mean Lamar carried that team. It was just him and Henry.
Say they fall to a 7. You still feel that way?
Yeah, if they make the playoffs, because Lamar's literally dragging that team.
All right.
Listen, guys, I know this is a real heated debate here, but it's time for my favorite segment. And, you know, when it's my favorite segment, we gonna get to it. So it's time for 4th and Goal, the segment where we find out if Johnny can beat Marquise, a.k.a. Statman. Now, it was one time. He already did it.
Paper.
Okay, it was
Get your
miscellaneous
papers.
Thanksgiving
Get your papers
questions.
ready. Get your papers ready.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
But it's 1-1. It's 1-1. So we would need a tiebreaker for our tiebreaker for the tie right now.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Point is this, guys.
I'm ready.
Like I said, winner take all trivia. May the best man win. Do you guys remember the rules?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Perfect.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just finding a pen.
Take your time.
Cool.
Yeah, while he finds one, I'll recommend one, guys. The Sharpie S Gel pen. It's the GOAT pen. This is I have the pearly white one. They normally come in black. I got a couple black ones here too. This is a red one.
We have an
Best
instant
pen on the
plug.
market. This is I'm not being paid to say this. I just love this pen. The Sharpie S Gel. It's my go-to.
Instant plug.
Instant plug. They're not paying me. And yeah, so buy one. And now we're ready.
Yes, we are.
That it wasn't just a Thanksgiving fluke. I'm not just the Thanksgiving guy.
He's not just the Thanksgiving guy. He's gonna get it. Can he go back to back?
All right.
We have to start
First question. Here we go.
Rebranding the segment. If I win here, we have to rebrand the segment again to an evenly matched competition.
It's gonna have to change something. I don't know. Marquise is gonna fall behind real quick.
All right, I'm ready.
First question, boys. First question.
No theme?
Come on now. Wait till Christmas.
Okay.
What NFL defensive, but no theme. It's just all around the NFL. It is modern day though. It's all modern era. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
What NFL defensive back set the record for interceptions in a single season in 2002? Who? What you got?
I don't know. I don't like this one. I don't like.
Oh man.
No.
I'm just trying to think.
No, wait.
2002.
I'm changing mine. Hold on. It's
This is the part where they go from a wrong answer to another wrong answer.
Oh yeah, I got it. Okay.
Man.
Hold on. I don't love this one, but I think I might be good. Okay.
Okay, I gotta see a question because I think wasn't the most interceptions.
You don't get no
before
questions.
That?
Put a damn
Okay.
answer.
I'm gonna.
What's the
get
question?
This one wrong.
What's the question?
No. I was just thinking. Did someone have 14 picks in a season back in the 60s? So I can't think of anyone who would have had 14 picks then.
Well, we said 2002, so just limit your answers to that year.
You said set NFL. You said set the NFL record in 2002.
Yeah, if you listen, that is the NFL record.
I think it might be tied. I think there might be two.
But if you have any questions, just narrow it down. Narrow it down to who led the league in interceptions in 2002.
All right.
I know this is wrong, but
it probably
I was between two.
It probably is.
I think.
What up?
I was between two,
on.
but I think I've got one.
We'll put one down, baby. Let's go.
I'm ready.
Let's go. You guys got 10
Hold
seconds.
on. Hold on. I'm just. This pen sucks.
Man's over here on Google. Chat
Yeah, I
GPT.
mean,
We see his hands.
yeah,
We see
yeah,
his
yeah,
hands.
definitely.
He's
All right, I'm ready.
All right. I'm not gonna get this one.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Charles Woodson.
Oh, that's crazy. For the man who said he's not going to get this one, you sure seem to get that one. Marquise.
Oh, I got it.
Ed Reed.
Dang, and now I literally look at this. Do you see how it's scribbled? That was what I wrote.
Yeah.
That was what I wrote under,
Yeah,
under the
Kira's
scribble.
called that too. He said he he's about to cross one wrong answer for another wrong answer, but it was the right answer, ironically.
All right.
Yeah, always Charles
it is
Woodson.
7-0.
Yeah, but
Marquise.
was the most
Statman.
was the most interceptions
dog.
that Reed ever have in a season? Okay,
Listen,
that was
I'm
an
just
NFL
reading
record.
off the questions the producer gave me. If you have any questions, take it up with them. Okay.
All right, that was an NFL
Thank
record,
you.
but all right, keep on going.
Move along. Question 2. During the 2017 playoff run from the Jacksonville Jaguars, what was their defense nicknamed?
Oh, that's, okay, I
crap.
got that. Easy.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember now.
I'm good. I got it.
And you have at
Easy.
max 25 seconds, by the way, for each question, guys. I'm just going to lead with that.
You should give him less time.
I'm going to go 10 seconds from the time the first person gets a final answer.
Yeah. I don't want to think too long about this.
You're coming up on it real quick.
I know
Marquise.
I know it's in his head somewhere, so I don't want to give him too much.
Yeah, I
time.
know. I'm just blinking right now. It's crazy.
Come on.
I just know because the Steelers lost to this team, so I remember. I remember this in the playoffs. I remember this. That was a brutal loss. I hated that. Yep. All right.
You know a thing or two about brutal losses in the playoffs for the Steelers,
I
don't
know
you?
plenty about brutal losses in the
We-
playoffs.
We saw
Nothing
one
was
together,
worse.
didn't we?
We saw that one. That's not my least favorite though. My worst loss in the playoffs was definitely the Browns in 2020, or I guess it was 2021 playoffs. But that was the worst I've ever seen. That where they just went up 4 touchdowns on us at the beginning. The first play, we fumbled the ball into our own end zone, and they picked it up for a touchdown. That was the worst playoff game I've ever seen. That broke my heart.
I'm blinking right now. It's in my head, but I can't.
Jacksonville.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
Saxonville.
Did you put that? Show what you have on the paper right now. If it's not written down, we ain't.
No, I
counting.
it's
didn't
in
write
there.
any.
Yeah.
I didn't write anything down.
Saxonville.
So you're just gonna take a note.
Yeah. I knew it, but I couldn't think of it on top of my head.
All right.
Like,
New
it was
rule. Because I didn't think we had to establish this. If you have the other person show the answer, whatever you have in the paper is what you got to go with. So if you ask for that next time, write something down first.
No. I just said Johnny could show. I know he already had it. Like I knew he knew it, and I didn't. Like I forgot it.
You're good. And Marquise, you sat up a little bit, so adjust your camera.
Here, I'll just do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's going to be
ready.
7-7. 7-7.
I'm ready.
Question number 3. Which player became the NFL's all-time leader in single-season scrimmage yards in 2009? And by the way, this and some of these questions aren't going to mean today. It's going to refer to they broke that record in that year. It might
I
not,
already
be, the
know.
it might not be the
Dude,
record today,
It's
But
so
it-
fucking.
but it was that record then.
That was so easy. That one.
You have an answer,
I'm
Marquise?
between 2 again.
Marquise, you have an answer?
Oh, obviously.
All right, John, you got 10 seconds, baby.
All right. I'm gonna go with my gut. With my first answer.
Go with the first one. It's usually the gut.
All right. I'm going with my first one. I crossed it off, and I'm going back to it, and I'm gonna hate myself if it's the other one.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
Show.
3, 2, 1.
I'm
I don't know if you
AP
can see that.
Adrian
We
Peterson.
have
No, Chris Johnson. It's Chris
I
Chris
Johnson.
literally look at this.
Johnson
Do you see Chris Johnson
is
is
the
what I
answer.
scribbled off right
Yeah.
there.
Yo, Johnny, if
Bro,
you're
you
paying
gotta stop
attention,
doing
bro.
that, man. You gotta
I
stop
heard
doing
you
that.
say it, and I was like, oh, but maybe
like-
I thought Chris Johnson was later.
But wait a
I
minute.
know CJ2K.
But wait a minute.
I got it.
We
Yeah, I
have
mean, there's...
a 2-point play.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. I was about to say.
Now, John, you know the answer. If you get this correct, you get a field goal. Marquise, if you get this correct, you get 8 points instead of 7. How many yards? How many yards did Chris Johnson have in that year?
I know what it is.
I bet you
The
do.
exact number, I have no idea.
And if you're within 10 yards, I'll give it to you. I'll give you that.
All right, I wrote 2,515.
Oh, so we're going very specific. And Johnny, I gotta say that's
What
a
do you
very
mean?
good guess.
What'd you put? What's not specific? Like, what
Oh,
would you
because
put
I
if
thought you want the range. I thought you want the range, but
No,
I
give me
just...
the answer, and if you're within 10,
Okay.
give or take, I'll give it to
Okay.
you.
I'm not sure
3,
exact yardage, but that's...
2,
I mean, you already said his.
1,
You already...
go! I don't give
Alright.
a fuck. Show me your answer, Marquise.
All right, 2,530. I know he had like 2,006 rushing yards, and then he had like 500 receiving yards and something.
Oh no. Statman, what happened? The answer
Bro.
is 2,509. John's gonna get a field goal. Marquise,
Give me
Let's
that
go.
field
you're
goal.
gonna
Let's
stay
go,
with,
baby.
you're gonna stay with
Let's-
7. So now
All right.
we're
I'll
looking at
take
a
it.
14-10 ball game.
I can't believe I've literally written down both other answers and crossed them off.
And you got that
Yeah.
one close. You got that one right, and it was the
Yeah,
hardest
like-
out of all of them.
No,
I
it's
have,
funny.
I literally have written the correct answer down both times and I've gotten it wrong and crossed it off.
You know, it was pretty funny. I was gonna stay lower for 2,500, but then Johnny went so low on it. I'm like, damn it! If I say something like that's like 5 yards off of Johnny, I'm like, that's pretty much the same answer. So I was like, I guess we'll go 50 yards further up.
Wow.
So
was
we
close.
have a 14-10 ball game. Marquise still in the lead. Question number 4. During what year did the Houston Texans play their first NFL game, and who did they defeat? Now, this question you need to get both to get it right. Who did they
Oh,
defeat,
man.
and what year
Oh.
did they play that first game in?
Oh God. You need to get both right?
Did
feel
I
like
say
we should get
2-point
some-
conversion?
Dude, oh my God, this pen sucks.
Good thing you didn't advertise your pen on here.
All right. This is complete guess. I have no idea.
All right,
Got mine.
show 'em.
3, 2, 1.
I went 2003 Tennessee.
I said 2002 Tennessee. That's funny.
Wow.
Ooh. It was 2002, but, and there's a big old but in this, it was the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
Huh.
fun.
Texas Bowl.
All
right,
I knew it was
I'm out of it.
2002 though.
Marquise,
Oh, wait.
you're not out of it. This is the 5th question.
Oh, no, yeah.
You need to
did
get
get
it
them
right,
both.
John. Marquise has to get it wrong. You can't win with a field goal, so unfortunately you can't get the 2-point conversion only.
Okay.
But anyway, who was the first defensive player drafted number 1 overall in the 21st century?
Damn, that's a. I'm just trying to think. I think I already have mine in mind.
Do you know
but
what 21st
damn.
century is, Marquise?
Yes, yes, obviously. I think I had mine in mind, but I'm just trying to think of previous draft classes. I already written mine down though.
This is for all the marbles, all the dice.
If I get this wrong, I'll live with it because I
Wow.
know
I
I
really-
know I'm pretty close.
Wow. I'm going to go with, I don't know if he was drafted in the 20. I don't know if he was drafted in the 21st century. I don't know if he was the first one to go. I don't know if he went over first overall, but I just feel this. So I'm just going with it.
All right, ready to show 'em?
I do not love this pick.
It's
All right.
okay, bro.
I'm ready.
All right. 3,
Ready?
2, 1.
I want Reggie White.
Mario Williams. And Reggie White was drafted in the 80s, bro. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
man. I'm way behind. I'm
Marquise, Marquise. Marquise. You really thought that's who it was?
Yeah, Mario. I mean, he was a first overall pick like in the early 2000s, and
Well, you thought he was the first overall pick in the 21st century, the first number one defensive player picked.
like
You
for,
really, you really thought that?
like the first overall draft pick in a draft.
Well, you were correct, Marquise.
Yeah, I know. That's
Wow.
Mario Williams. Now
yeah. Mario
2 point
Williams was a dog.
conversion.
Yeah.
2 point conversion. John, you can't win, but you
Can't
can
win.
salvage it with the points. You can make it a victory, a moral victory here. 2 point conversion.
Yeah,
you
I
need to
don't
get
know
picked
why. I
by.
don't know who I got Reggie White mixed up with. I definitely have him mixed up with
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah, bro.
Reggie,
You're
Reggie
way
Wayne,
off. When you
maybe?
said
Reggie,
way
oh,
off.
Reggie Wayne's offense.
when you said Reggie White, I'm like, bro, that dude like retired like
Yeah, no, I
2000.
definitely have him mixed up with somebody because I was thinking of there's a pass rusher that
I said
I'm
modern century, bro. Modern
yeah,
day.
no, I'm definitely mixing him with somebody, but I can't think of who. So regardless, whatever.
Listen,
Yeah,
here's all I'm gonna say. 2 point conversion. Who was he picked by? Mario Williams.
I already know it. What? That's
If you know it, then say it. Let the
Let him
truth
say
be
it.
told.
Texans.
the Green
Were you-
Bay Packers
Were you gonna
picked
say that?
Reggie
Were you
White.
gonna say that, John? Were you gonna say Texans?
No, I wasn't gonna say Texas. I was gonna say the Green Bay
Yeah,
Packers
Mario
picked
Williams,
Reggie
Houston
White.
Texans.
No, I mean with the knowledge that it was Mario Williams.
Yeah, Houston
No,
Texans.
no, I did not.
Packers.
I did not
still.
know. I did not. No. I wasn't gonna say anything for Reggie for Mario Williams. That wasn't happening.
You didn't know?
No, I had no idea.
Damn, you could have made the score 22-13, but instead you're gonna lose 22-10.
I'm gonna lose on an insanely wrong guess.
Man, you know what's crazy, John? You had 2 questions that you would have got right if you didn't change your
I
answer,
know.
and you would have won 24-22.
I know. I
Let that be a lesson, guys. Go with your gut.
well, I didn't go with my gut on the first one, and then I did go with my gut on the third one, and I shouldn't have.
So
I second
yeah,
guessed on the third one, and my second guess was right. So really, the answer is you never know. You're fucked. Sorry. And Reggie White was played in the '80s. He wasn't. I'm trying to think of who I was thinking of, but
how you're thinking of, because that was
yeah,
that was a huge miss.
yeah. I'll have to see.
But
Who I was
Anyway,
getting
guys,
up with.
that makes it now 2-1. Marquise up,
Let's go, baby.
meaning Marquise is currently in first place in the Coach of the Year rankings. John now dips from tied to first to second. I, unfortunately, am in third. But anyway, now, guys, it is time to move on. Whew, we had some technical difficulties there. But anyway, it's time to move on to loud plays.
Quiet players.
Quiet players. Where we track players you may not hear from much that have been making plays worthy of our attention. Will they rise to all pro? Or are they on grocery bag watch? Now, guys, if you want to share your screen, Johnny.
Yes, sir. Bang. Do we all see this, folks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've got this. We have 3 new players that are coming into the tier list. We got a lot of movement happening this week. First of all, we're just going to get the sad stuff out of the way. Taysom Hill ruled out for the entire season with a torn ACL. So unfortunately, pal, we're going to move you down into the in memoriam tier. Rest in peace. Good night, sweet prince.
Taysom Hill.
R.I.P.
All right, gentlemen. We have a couple of movements we're going to have to go through. I'm going to let Coogii take the first one because he deserves a victory lap.
Oh, I already know who you're talking about, baby. So, yes, with that, I believe you're talking about my humble king, Jerry Jeudy. And by humble,
Yes, sir.
I say that in the most loose way possible because he was not humble about anything at any time, any
As he
point along
shouldn't
the
be.
way. But Jerry Judy, yes, he went off. Listen, he's been going off lately, right? We started last week with, a little like 6 catches, 6 targets, 85 yards. That's cool. Week before that, he was balling. But this week, my God, he had his
Yeah.
season high in routes at 57. He had 13 targets, but he had 9 catches on a whopping 26.1 yards. 26.1 yards per reception, 235 yards, and 1 touchdown. And I'm going to switch over to me real quick because, listen, you need to look me in the eyes when I say this. Jerry Judy cooked. Now, I think that he didn't get the opportunity that he really deserved in Denver. I mean, switching offensive coordinators every single year, coaches in and out. And then when Sean Payton kind of got sick of the drops, he never got looks. But he is going to go to future All-Pro, baby. He's
Much
there.
deserved
Ooh.
future
He's there.
All-Pro tier.
Ooh, that's a huge jump. Future All Pro. Okay.
I think he's there. I think he's there.
Okay.
I think that's a worthy jump with a performance like that. You don't just get 200 yards receiving. That doesn't happen.
I mean,
that's not an anomaly.
yeah, but I mean, like Jennings from like the 49ers had like 180 and like 3 touchdowns this year.
And also, if you really want to get real on it,
And 200 though.
he had he had Patrick Surtain lined up on him on 34 of those 57 routes. On an All-Pro, the best corner. Say it again. Patrick Surtain, the best corner in the league today.
Mm-mm.
I agree.
Nah.
I agree.
Derek Stingley.
He put up
Derek Stingley's good. I like
All-Pro.
Surtain.
Derek Stingley. Oh, bro, you're. Come
All right,
on
let's
now.
not get
You're
too
off
crazy.
you're off the stuff. We won't even get into that. Anyway, listen. All I'm gonna say is this: he put up All-Pro numbers on an All-Pro for majority of the night. He's a future All-Pro, baby.
I like it. I like it. Let me add in one of mine real quick. Hometown hero for my team, rookie Peyton Wilson. What a guy, with an amazing scoop and score touchdown to absolutely put a dagger into the Bengals. My guy, he had a solid game last week, but the week before had a massive interception. We're going to move him up to Jeremy Lin. He is on a run. And one other while I'm here, because the Jeremy Lin tier is getting a little crowded, we got to move someone out of there. And I got no better option than your boy, Nick Westbrook Ikine. The man has 20 receptions on the season, 8 touchdowns. He had 2 in the last game. The guy is a touchdown machine at a 40% clip. I don't know if he can maintain that clip, but for the time being, he has my attention. He's going up. So, pretty darn good. Marquise, any of your guys that you had seen, do you want to move up or down?
Not really. So funny fact, guys. When I first started doing this, I kind of misunderstood what this segment was.
Of course.
So I had,
We know.
So I'm fine with keeping my few guys where they're at. I mean, we have Mac Hollins, yeah, Jeremy Lin tier fine. And what Turpin was it? We notice you tier he's in right now.
Yep.
He's in this guy might be
Hollins.
legit tier, and
Okay, yeah,
I'm okay with that. Second highest, still playing well.
He's like one of the arguably the best return in the league right now, so I'm very fine with that. So keep it the same, but yeah, I feel pretty good with the guys I have in there.
Of course. Coogii, any other moves you want to make?
Oh, you already know, baby. So, first of all, Cedric Tillman.
He was injured, so let's with the caveat
he's gonna have to. I got you. He was injured, but he's gonna have to go down. The only reason, if he misses 1 or 2 more weeks with this concussion, he might join Taysom Hill down there in the bottom. But for right now, he's on bagging groceries watch.
Only one given Sunday or bagging groceries? You want to go all the way down to bagging groceries?
Listen, the game is fast paced. They adapt, they adjust. If he loses reps now, right? Judy going off, Elijah Moore looking good. If he loses reps, if he loses targets because of the fact that he's been out, he might not get them back. And if he doesn't get them back this year, he might not get them next year. So yes, I'm gonna have to move him down to bagging groceries watch.
Ooh,
For now.
severe.
Now, I think it's a quick rebound with a good week when he comes back. If he comes back and he puts up some solid numbers, it's quick rebound back up to Jeremy Lin.
Yeah,
But for now, I'm pending the drop down one level from here next week if he continues to miss time.
Mike Williams might be on in memoriam watch. I gotta be honest. Mike Williams, I don't know what's going on. He got some snaps. I mean, he was on the field in the Steelers Bengals game, but no targets. Ran a couple routes, but no targets at all. It seems like he's either not getting open or Russell Wilson does not trust him or something. He is just getting no work whatsoever. It's kind of sad to see, but maybe if this Calvin Austin injury goes on for a bit, maybe he gets an opportunity. Not looking good. Noah Gray's been solid. I think if he had a touchdown this week, he'd be moving up. But 4 receptions, 50-something yards. Solid. But I don't think we're going to move him up. He's not having these – he didn't have any massive splash plays. And for that reason, we'll keep him there. Otherwise, I think I'm good on my guys where everyone is. Any other adjustments you want to make, Coogii?
Yeah, so I got some quick adjustments.
Okay.
Or maybe some non-adjustments, some quick answers. We got Josie Jewell. He's going to stay where he is. He might still be Jeremy Lin. He didn't do anything crazy in this game. I mean, he's playing a lot of snaps, right? He's very active. 10 tackles, right? 1 sack, 2 QB pressures. Didn't really do much other than that. I mean, he allowed 3 targets, 3 catches, and he had a 118 passer rating on him. For a middle linebacker or inside linebacker, that's not very great because you have to be able to cover somewhat.
But you want to see that 10 tackle number out of an interior linebacker. I think that's something you want to see.
I think you want to see it, and I think that's enough to keep him there. I'm not seeing any splash, right? Like I don't think 10 tackles is going to get you to an All-Pro.
No.
No.
And again, I think to get from Jeremy Lin to the you have our attention, you got to make some splash happen.
Yeah.
Since that first game that he's played, that we put him in here when he played the Giants and he had those big plays, he hasn't really had any splash plays. He's just been solid.
Yep.
So I would keep him there. Marquez Valdez Scantling. He's going to go to you have our attention.
He did have another touchdown.
Because he's got my attention. Now, listen here. He's doing it on limited targets. I'll say this. He's being efficient with what he's getting, right? 3 targets, 2 catches, 1 TD. Before that, 4 targets, 2 catches, 1 TD. 3 targets, 3 catches, 2 TDs, right? So he's being real efficient, which is a good thing. I would like to see targets and receptions go up, obviously, for him to proceed higher up because you're just not going to – you can't be a future All-Pro on those looks. But I do think that he's got my attention. So he's got to go up. Another interesting fact from this weekend. Not this weekend, actually. So we're going to scratch that. It's a little bit old. Man.
Okay.
Sad. But I guess if it's an interesting fact, he is the only receiver, a second receiver, to gain 100 yards versus the Falcons this season. The only other ones not playing anymore were Rashee Rice.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Except,
but
you know, I don't.
That being said, he's also recorded 30.6% of his targeted on deep pass attempts. He's caught them, which is the highest active among 122 receivers since 2018. And that, by the way, just so you guys know, deep means 20-plus air yards.
Pretty good.
Real good.
Shout out MVS.
So, yeah, MVS is going to go up there. You know what, man? This guy might be legit. Jonnu Smith.
He's
How'd he
mine.
play?
His quarterback can't throw for crap in the cold.
Hmm.
but he can catch in the cold. That's for sure. Listen, this man last week had 11 targets, 10 catches. He didn't have any touchdowns, but I love that target number 11. If you can get 11 consistently, that's enough to be the guy. Especially
10
right,
catches
you're
for a
catching
tight
10
end.
out of 11. That's really really good.
Crazy.
Um, I mean, again, the yardage too, right? You cross century mark. That's always good. Before then, he had 11 targets, 9 receptions, 8 for 6. Before then, so listen, he's got 3 straight weeks now where he's getting play, getting a real serious play. So I
Yeah.
just think
I
that he's
think
got to move up. He's earned it. If anyone on this
I'm,
list has earned moving up, aside from Judy,
Yeah, I
he's
agree.
earned it.
I agree it. I agree. Johnu Smith. This tier list was looking really dismal a couple weeks back. We were really low on a lot of people. And now it's starting to fill out. Guys are moving up. They're making the
Yeah.
splash plays they need to. It's looking good. You know what? In that spirit, we're gonna throw in a guy who also it was looking real dismal, and now it's looking up. Future looks bright for my good pal Bryce Young. I'm putting him in Jeremy.
Hey,
He has
Hey.
been he
he's
has been on a
back.
streak right now. He has been on a streak where he's looked very competent. He's slinging it around. He's not making dumb decisions. He looks confident in the pocket. It's like that little break sitting behind Andy Dalton might have helped him out a bit.
It did him
Um,
Yeah.
I
wonders.
would I would
Wonders.
put him up and you have our attention if he was winning, but he's not
And
winning. He's playing
and
very,
playing
very well.
actually good besides competent. I love how you use the word competent and not good. I'm like, yeah, it's a good word to describe how he's playing right now, competent.
Right.
Because before that, he was, you added no value when he was on the field, but now he's actually orchestrating an offense. So good for Bryce Young. I'm happy. He's grown a little bit.
He's very lucky. Like I said this last week, I believe, but last week, 2 young quarterbacks, second year quarterbacks, played well enough that they most likely secured their spot as the starter next season. That was Bryce
Yeah.
Young and Will Levis.
Yep.
And I think once again they did that this week. So good for them. And Bryce Young, welcome to the list. Jeremy Lin, prove me wrong. Prove to me that you are even better than that, and you will have my attention. Coogii, you want to throw in your guy?
Oh, listen, I have been watching this guy for a minute now. I've kind of been, peeking in the background. I had some other players that I had to pick before, they were a little bit more pressing. But we're gonna go with the boy, and I gotta look at this to pronounce this because this is a little tough. But we got Demarvion. Yes, I said it.
DeMarvion?
Demarvion Overshown. Now,
Where is he going?
I follow it up by saying this man is overshown, but he's underseen. I said it again.
You have our attention.
Overshown, but underseen. Now this man has my attention because
Yeah.
he would have been on the lower levels if I put him on here earlier, but because I've been watching him, seeing what he's doing, he's got to jump up right up the top. You know what I'm saying? Unless he drops a bomb next week and he'll drop down. But I gotta put him there. I mean,
You
this
gotta
dude
have.
is incredible. I mean, he had a play. He had a listen. He had a play the other day where he tipped that shit to himself, caught that shit, ran it back. I mean, he's getting consistent pressure on the quarterback, and it's not even in the stats. Bump the stats. I'm watching him play. He is all over the place. It seems like wherever that ball is when the play's over, he is there. And if he's not there, he's within 3 yards of that ball. I mean, he's the next young market here. Market here. We're not in the bold segments take. This is a prediction. He's the next young star in that Dallas defense. But for today,
You got to have your attention on a guy who plays defense wearing number 13.
Yeah.
that's my lucky number too.
It's an interesting cat.
But I
Mhm.
mean, he's generated 21 pressures this year on 66 pass rushes, 31.8% of the time, by the way. That is tied with Caden Ellis for the most by an off-ball linebacker. So again, flying out to the quarterback, he's picking balls, he's scoring tutties, he's getting sacks, he's all over the place.
Mhm.
You, Mr. Overshown, have my attention.
Of course. Marquise, you got a guy that just barely made the list last night
Oh yeah.
under the
Oh,
gun.
yeah. Wait, who is it again? I'm trying to remember who I added.
We got
Crap, I
the
cannot
homie
see the screen.
Jaquan McMillan.
Oh yeah, yeah. Shout out to Jaquan. Had a huge. I won't even say huge game at this point. I
Man,
would
stop
say
fronting. That
I
was a
no. Hold on. I'm not gonna say huge game. Humongous, like ginormous fourth quarter. That's when he really came alive. In the fourth quarter, he was at, I got to put him to start off right now. You have our attention. I mean, it was one big game, but I got to say he was everywhere. He even got in the backfield, made some tackles at the line of scrimmage, had I believe like three pass deflections, and like he was breaking down the ball really fast. Was very opportunistic with sealing up the game, against the Browns by picking off Jameis Winston. The ball was thrown a little bit behind, but he made a great catch, fell on his back, got up, ran like over 60 yards for the game sealing touchdown. Um, I mean, he showed a lot of promise last night. I felt like that entire fourth quarter, wherever Jameis Winston threw, he was right in the vicinity every time. Yeah, he looked like a gem out there. Let's see if he can grow on it. Hopefully, yeah. The Broncos are going into a bye week this week too, correct?
yes, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, gonna carry that confidence in the bye week,
Eight and
and
five.
yeah, maybe he can grow into something. And yeah, good for him. I'm happy for him.
Nah, he's a
All right,
baller.
folks. We've
He's a
gotten
baller.
we've gotten very positive in this segment. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Guys
absolutely.
have a lot of people in the You Have Our Attention tier. So they're gonna have to live up to that. Otherwise, we're dropping them. So
Yeah,
no pressure, folks. But
No pressure at all. No
no
pressure at all.
yeah.
pressure. But you will be
But
memorialized on this as a failure if you don't.
yeah,
In a world full of questions, the people need answers. Here on Couch Coach, we have the answers. It's time for the people who want to know. Now, Johnny,
People.
the people want to know, should first dates have a spending limit?
Only for as a case by case basis. Like if you got the money, no such thing as a spending limit. But you gotta work within your budget. All right. You don't have to feel like you have to go crazy. You gotta get smart. You gotta get creative. If you don't have the money, go nuts. You can't be spending too much. All right. You have to be really thinking how to maximize the first date potential if you're working on a budget. But if you got a lot of money, you're rolling in it. There's no such thing as a limit. I think if you really want to show out for a girl, then by all means, or a guy, whatever you want. I think by all means go nuts. There's no such thing as a ceiling.
I mean, girls can pay for the date too.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you want to show out for a girl or a guy. This is speaking to girls and guys and folks beyond the binary. You want to show out for anybody, then there's no such thing as a spending limit. But I also don't think there needs to be a spending floor. I think that you got to work with what you got and get creative. If you really want to impress a girl or a guy or whoever, I'm speaking on behalf of me and Coogii, two straight men. You really want to impress a girl? Picnic at the park, first date. That's cheap. You get to bring your own stuff. You don't have to go crazy. It makes you look whimsical. Can you play an instrument? Bring it. Can you paint? Painter. I don't know. Do something cool. But park, picnic, great first date. You got to get creative, folks.
So
Otherwise,
saying,
whatever, man. You want to fly her out to Paris for your first date? If you got the money, might as well. What do you care?
So you're saying, as long as you can afford it, go on ahead and spend it.
Yeah, what do you care?
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Why would you put a limit on it? You know what I mean? Like you're going to go, if you're a billionaire, You're gonna be like, nope, nope. I have a $300 limit on a first date. I'm not gonna let her get the surf and turf. There's no world. Like, I don't know. It's just like, do what you want. Do
Yeah.
whatever feels right. Do you really want to impress her? Then do that.
Here's what I'll say. So I think we gotta flip the script. I think as men, as women, as people of this great world, we gotta flip the script. Too many of y'all be going into first dates like, you know what? I wanna impress her. I wanna impress him. I'm gonna show the world right now, right? But like, where do you come back from? Like, let's compare it in football terms, Johnny, and I'll let you chime in on this if you want. But compared to football terms, it's like this: if you win a Super Bowl in your first year, your rookie year, right? Every single year you don't win a Super Bowl after that, you're gonna deem a disappointment because you've experienced that win in the very beginning versus, right, maybe the first year one and done, second year next round, right? You progress like a normal team. Now when you do lose after that Super Bowl, it's not the same because you've experienced that growth. You've already experienced the other end of things. We got to flip the script. Okay, all y'all going in first date trying to spend a max.
It'd be terrible.
I'm not
You should have an
spending
awful first date.
I'm not spending more than $50. 50, $100. That's cap.
$50.
That's max. That's max. Listen, what you need to do, first date, something real simple, something real cheap, something that's really gonna test her or test him. You see what I'm saying? Because they're gonna go on this date and they're gonna think, damn, is this really what like a date is to Coogii? Coogii thinks this is a date, but I'm testing you. I'm testing you because I know I got it like that. So, but why am I gonna show you everything I got the first time? So I'm gonna take you on, right? We might hit up a Mickey D's. We might hit up a Chick-fil-A. I know Johnny don't like Chick-fil-A. We might hit up a little Chick-fil-A. Not on Sunday, but any other day of the week. We might hit up something like that, right? We're not even gonna eat in the place. We're gonna eat in the car, right? We're gonna eat in the car, something like that, something real casual, just talking, right? Like Johnny said, maybe the second date you step it up a little bit. You do a little picnic, right? But you want to have those first two dates be dates where you're weeding out the non-contenders. Because the third date is where you come prepared. You show it all. That third date, you go ham. $500, $1,000, whatever it is. If you got it, spend it. Not the
First date
two,
should be the worst date of your life.
First two.
That one should never get worse than number one.
If you can't take her to McDonald's first date and get a second date, and you can't have a picnic with her second date and get a third date, she ain't the one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or
yes.
you ain't the one. Step up your game.
Come on now. So yes, there should be a spending limit, but not because you can't afford it, but because you're testing. You want to see. See what I'm saying? You take her out, $500 date. Now every date's got to be $500 date. Versus, she had Mickey D's before. So, you might go $500 this week.
Go up from there.
You might go Mickey D's next week, and it ain't a big deal. She had Mickey D's already. Another side note from that, though, just everybody in general, date within your budget, and don't try to impress people because that'll have you dating outside your budget. Like, if you look at the girl or the guy that you see, and they live a lifestyle currently that you could not afford to help support, you really probably shouldn't even shoot your shot. You shouldn't even shoot your shot, to be honest, because all you're gonna do is get in a situation where you're spending everything you got trying to impress, trying to show out, and it's not gonna work out. And when it's over, you ain't getting that money back. So, all I'm saying,
a long-term relationship is a financial commitment. So just make sure that you're prepared for that. Young folks, impressionable viewers, make sure that you're ready for a financial commitment if you want to be in a successful long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Now,
Johnny, the people want to know. The people want to know, is ghosting someone ever justified?
I have a very strong take on this one. I have a very strong take on this one. Are we ready for this, folks?
Oh, we ready.
I
We
think
ready.
not only is ghosting justified, it's very frequently justified. I think in the first month, at least, this is the first, the limit, the low end is the first month, and I might go a little farther. Ghosting is preferable. It should be the number one option in the first month. Is you don't just disappear. It's fine. There we have so many other options. I've been ghosted and I've ghosted. I feel no type of way. We live in a sea of options. What do I care? I it's fine. All right. No, I'm very pro ghosting. I think it's a good thing to ghost someone early on because who needs the conversation? I don't need it. You shouldn't. We all know what it was. I'm good. You don't need to say anything else. And mind you, if you're like farther in, you're hanging out, you got to have a conversation. Fine. You shouldn't ghost somebody 6 months into knowing them. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, first date, second date, ghost is on the table. Like it's on the table. I think it's the preferable option. I would much rather be ghosted than have someone text me or call me or tell me in person, I don't like you and I don't want to spend time with you anymore. Just disappear, please.
Yeah, I think I don't have a strong opinion, not that strong. I agree though. I think ghosting is not only um, justified. I think ghosting is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Ghosting is, in some cases, in some extreme cases, it is necessary. Listen, sometimes you just gotta get out. I mean, bump all this explaining and right here's why it didn't work. Da 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 da. You ever tried to explain to somebody why it didn't work? What are they gonna say back to
It
you?
sucks.
They're gonna tell you they're either one gonna be severely offended by what you just said to them. Two, they're not gonna be mad at you, but they're gonna take it personally, and it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
affect how they see themselves now. Or three, they're gonna sit there and they're gonna explain to you all the reasons why you shouldn't leave. But you already know you need to leave, right? You go into a place, right? You go into battle. You go into battle. You go into a war, right? And you're like, man, screw this. I'm out of here. I didn't sign up for this. Like, I'm not trying to fight. Do you go and talk to your sergeant before you leave? Like, no, they're gonna convince you to stay, but you know that that's not the best place for you to be. That is not the best place for your safety right now. So bump all that. Ghosting is necessary sometimes, especially if you cut it off, and like that cut off leads to more responses. Like if you can just say your piece and it's over, respect. But if you say your piece and then you get a response, then you say your piece again, you get a response. You say, come, nah, you just gotta.
Sometimes ghosting
Like
sends a
K Camp
message.
said, it ain't nothing. Cut that bitch off. You just gotta cut her
Yeah.
off sometimes, or him.
Sometimes ghosting sends a message. I am a believer big time in the what for the people want to know a great piece of advice. One of the best pieces of advice I ever received in my adult life was you cannot let anybody think now that we have cell phones, you cannot let anybody think that they have 24/7 access to you. So I'm a big believer, and I'm not going to respond on anyone's time to a text message unless it's very pressing. But if we're just talking, I you should not expect a quick response from me, especially if I'm doing something. I'm never going to prioritize my phone. So it is just for my mental health. I'm never going to do it. So I've had girls in the past that will get angry with me early on, very early on, one date, two dates, and text, why aren't you responding to me? Or like a question mark or something like that. And it's like, I intended to respond, but I'm just not going to respond quickly. I was doing something. One thing I'm thinking of is I was at a party. And I'm not going to be on my phone the whole time at a party. So I wasn't responding to a very new talking to. She started blowing me up, and that's ghost. That's a ghost right there. Because that to me is like a huge red flag out the gate, and the ghost sends the message that I am not going to engage with somebody that is telling me that I have to give them my attention at all times. That's especially someone I'm not in a serious relationship with, but even someone you're in a serious relationship with, no one deserves your attention at all times except for your child. So yeah, that's the only person that does, is your child. Give your child your attention at all times. If your child texts you, you have to text them back immediately. That's just the rules. But anyone else, no, they don't. And your mental health will thank you for it. So that's one I'm heavy about is if I immediately see that like texting back too quick is going to be a problem, that's a ghost. That's gone, because that person's not even going to take it well if I say, no, I'm not that guy. So that's a disappear.
It's funny you say that. I had a situation with someone where essentially here's what happened. And, let me know if I'm wrong for this, John. You know what? We'll give a third party. I'd like to think that you're neutral in this. You're not gonna just take my side because we're friends. You're not gonna just take my side because we're both on Couch Coach. Like, if I'm wrong, you'll tell me.
I'll tell you.
So what happened was this individual wasn't feeling well. And they're already expected, a fast response when she wasn't feeling well. Or in general, I mean, when she was feeling good. So she's not feeling well. At this point, I had a friend living with me, so we're playing some 2K, we're playing some Madden. I'm just hanging because I'm working, we're grinding, we're both in that grind, so we'll kind of kick back every now and then, play some 2K, play some Madden. I'd sit here and say I whoop his ass a lot, but I ain't going to start lying. But anyway, we play a lot. So obviously you know how long a game takes. It takes like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You played 2, it's at least an hour, hour and 15, hour and a half. She's blowing up my phone, telling me that if she's not feeling well, I have to respond every hour at least once. Mind you, I have a job, and you know what else I'm doing outside that job, right? I also have friends, so yeah, I was playing a game of 2K with my boy, who I don't actually talk to that much, even though he lives with me, because we're both working, so you're right. But yeah, so essentially,
How serious was this arrangement?
we were together max for like 3 months.
Okay.
But when it ended,
And were you ever official?
yeah, we
You
were
were on the
official. We were
books.
official within a month, so we were official for like 2 months.
Okay. On the books, 3 months. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. It's important to the story.
But she
Continue.
starts calling me out of pocket because I'm not responding every hour, and she has no job, so it's not like she's got stuff to do. All she has to do is sit there all day and wait for me to text her, which is a whole other layer as well, right? Because like, it was nice. Like, it's nice to have somebody there that don't have a job, whatever, because you're always available, right? Like, want to hang, like, I don't ever have to hit you up and be like, oh, they're gonna be busy. They're not busy. They're not doing nothing. But at the same time, when I'm busy, they expect that constant attention. But yeah, but am I wrong for that though? I literally was like, listen, I got shit to do. I'm hanging out with a friend. I'm not going to respond every single hour.
I can understand why she would feel that way in a certain sense, but then it's also like it's a bad sign. You know what I mean? When I'm sick or I'm having a bad mood or I'm blah 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 blah, blah
And
whatever
it's
it
every
is.
day too. Like, if it's one every
Right.
month.
What is the limit for that? What is the threshold for that? It's a bad sign. An hour, 15, 20. You have to text every hour. That's crazy. My thing was like, and this is not just for relationships, this is friendships, anything. If you get crazy about me, how fast I'm responding to you, if we're not planning something or doing business or something important that is time sensitive, but if we're just talking and you're mad about how frequently or fast I'm responding to you, it's a full cutoff. I'm not gonna allow that into my life. We never had to deal with this as human beings until 15, 20 years ago. And now suddenly people feel entitled to your time and attention whenever they want it. I'm very anti that. I'll go 4 or 5 hours without texting literally anybody in the peak of broad day because I just don't want to give my attention to my phone.
Right.
I'm just
Even
not
if
going
you're
to do
not
it.
busy.
Even if I'm not busy with something that is like important, quote unquote. I could be
Another gem.
working on anything on my computer. I could be watching a football game. I could be doing whatever. I'm like, I like to have my full undivided attention on the thing that I'm doing.
Right.
Am I?
And just because that time is free doesn't mean I'm not busy.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to.
Just
Yeah,
because that
exactly.
time is free doesn't mean I'm not busy. Like you can't, even if I'm not doing anything, you can't expect that time either.
Yeah.
If I want to give it
Yeah,
to you, then I choose to give it to you.
Yeah. And I think that's a good way to go through life in general. On both ends, you shouldn't expect anybody's undivided attention or attention whenever, and you shouldn't give that to anybody unless that's been agreed upon. You know, if
Right.
you're in a relationship and you and your partner have decided that you guys are going to text each other every hour and you both want that, then Godspeed. I hope you have a great relationship. I hope you're happy. I think most people don't actually want that, and it'll drive them crazy. So there's my piece on it. Ghost people.
On that same note, is, and by is I mean the people want to know. The people want to know, can someone truly be too busy to text back?
Can someone truly? Yes. I don't want to get too far into this one. Can someone actually be too busy to text back? Yes, 100%. Obviously, yes, you can. What are we talking about? Yes, certainly. I don't even want to go
Certainly.
too far into
You're
it, but I can
definitive
list
on it.
multiple things where if you could be at an important dinner with somebody who thinks it's rude to pull their phone out to check your phone, that you don't want to be rude. You could be in a life or death scenario, or you pulled over on the side of the road because you saw someone crash their car and you're pulling them out of it. I'm not even saying you crash your car. All right. You're dealing with the police. You're in a very important business setting where it would be very rude to pull out your phone. You're in a movie theater or a play. I could list so many things where it would be unreasonable to pull your phone out. That's the extreme ends. And most of the time I'm like, I think your phone should be second priority always to what's in front of you. So yes, of course you can be too busy to text.
Wow. So we disagree. I think, in theory, you can be too busy to text. But are you truly? No.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's priorities. It's priorities. For example, I might not text you back, but I was on my phone. And everyone's different, but and I'll be honest, I don't care where I am, what I'm doing, who I'm with. I'll pull out my phone. If I see something worthy of my attention, I will pull it out. I'm like a little Coogii Schefter over here. So if I see something, I gotta pop on that. So, yeah, I do think you can be too busy because of priorities. Like, I don't prioritize responding to you as much as I prioritize getting work done or getting this done.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
yeah.
If I prioritized responding to you over anything else in the world, then I could, in theory, yes.
I also don't text and drive. So that's another one.
You're right.
Where
I don't.
I literally don't. That's a big one. I don't text and drive.
If I go on a 6-hour drive, you won't hear from me for 6 hours.
Same. I'm not a texter. I don't do it when I'm driving. I'm like, it's unreasonably dangerous, and I don't want to interact with the police literally ever. So I'm good. I don't text and drive. So, I think there's plenty of opportunities that you're legitimately too busy to text. But even if you aren't, you don't owe anybody except for your child. Once again,
right. And even in some cases, you never know.
Yeah.
The people want to know, John. The people want to know, is it more romantic to propose privately or in front of a crowd?
Romantic is privately.
Really?
Certainly. Romantic, yes. Like, there can be something really cool about doing it in front of a bunch of people, but I think romantic, in the sense that um, the intimacy and the I'm not doing this for anyone but us. Yeah, I could see that as being a more romantic option of doing it in private. But I could see the thing of like I'm declaring our love to the world and I'm telling everyone I don't care who sees it, I want to marry you. I guess, but like, yeah, I guess it just depends on what do you think romantic means. And I'm like, I think romantic is like an intimate feeling between two people and uh involving a bunch of strangers or a large crowd cheapens that a little bit.
No, I feel that. So here's what we're gonna do. We Where the hell is my phone? We're gonna look up. Nah, I want to do a little check real quick. We're gonna look up the definition of romantic. Because before I give this question an answer, I need to truly know. You see what I'm saying? I need to know what romance truly is before I give an answer.
Okay, so you gotta ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT, what is love? I need a
Romantic.
robot to tell me.
Romantic. Conducive to or characterized by the expression of love.
Mhm.
Readily demonstrating feelings of love. Relating to love or to sexual relationships. And that's it,
I'm not
folks.
I'm not defining this by like the dictionary definition. I'm just going into vibes.
Oh,
What I
okay.
think
So
vibes
you're
are,
just all vibes
yeah,
over there.
of
All right.
romantic, yeah.
Here's all I'm gonna say. I think this. I think that it depends on what you do when you do it publicly. Now, if you do some basic stuff, right? Like you get a billboard at a baseball game,
I was
or
literally just like, that's the
that's
tackiest way to propose to
that's the
anybody.
most like go to like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the most whack way to propose. It's a
Uh,
fucking baseball game. Can you imagine, bro? You're both standing there in like a t-shirt and a baseball cap. Like it's sunny, there's something in your eyes. Like you both look goofy as hell, and you're like, "This is the moment." Yeah, terrible moment. You
yeah, so
you
like
cannot
that's
propose to a woman if she's not like prepared to look her best in the moment, because she's gonna want to
she
take
wearing
pictures.
sweatpants and a
She
hoodie.
has to have her
She
nails done. She has to, you know what I mean? You have to, the girl at the very least has to have her nails just did because she's gonna want to post a photo of her hand,
yeah,
and
imagine
she
you
has
post your
to,
hand with some grimy ass fingernails.
exactly. And ideally,
She
you
got
want to do
dirt
it
in
in a
them and
setting where
shit.
she's
Oh
wearing
my god.
something that makes her feel as beautiful as possible because she's gonna want to post photos. So obviously, you gotta do it then. You do it at a fucking sporting event. Like humans at the best can only look about 40% of how good they normally look at a sporting event. You cannot cross that threshold. You will look like shit at a sporting event. Period.
Right. So that's a bad example. Don't do that, right?
Don't
But
do
like
that.
but I have seen this in the past and this I thought was cool. Now I guess it depends on if you consider this private or public. But somebody invited his wife, future wife, fiance, invited his fiance to the beach. So they were staying at the beach for a few days. On one of the days that they were there, they had family, right? Friends, probably a good 15, 20 people, which I would consider not private at that point. I don't know
I would
about
agree.
you guys. I think
I
private
agree
to
with
me
that.
is one-on-one, maybe at
Yeah,
max two other people.
I agree.
But 15, 20 people, and she didn't know they were going to be there. So she walks out. She was sleeping. He goes to the beach, sets up the flowers, gets the bottles, ready to pop the bottles. Yeah, he gets everything set up. Whole family's there. She walks out. He proposes to her on the beach. She didn't know her family was going to be there, right? Like, that's a beautiful moment. Like, that is romantic. Like, you invited this girl's family out to the beach, right? It wasn't like it was down the street. They were traveling. So you invited them out to the beach. They were there, ready. You had it all set up. You had it all planned. The effort it took to plan it properly, right? She could have walked out in the middle of that. Like, and maybe you know, it could be easy as saying, hey, go to the mall for a couple hours or something, right? I mean, I don't know if she was, you know, sleeping or not. I assume she's probably sleeping, but like, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But
Possible.
but either way, like, that's romantic, but that's also public. And because there's
Yeah,
people at the beach that you
I
don't
think
know
both,
too.
they both can be romantic. I think I lean. I don't feel strongly about this. I think I
But I
lean
think
to the
there's something
private.
about declaring your love in front. Like, it's not about the sake of like the fact that like they see you're in love and it's like, ooh, like I'm jealous of them or I'm happy for them. It's like I don't want their validation, but it's like I know I love you, and
I
I'm
want
so
everyone to clap for
confident that
me.
I love you that I want the world to know that I love you. Like, it's not a
I want
secret.
all
I'm
of
not.
Yankee Stadium to clap for me at the same time. That's what I want.
Yeah, and they're not gonna pay attention. Like, Aaron Judge, home run. They're like not even paying attention. Not even paying attention.
I
All
want
right.
to
So
feel
like,
like one of the best ball players in the league, Ma.
so it's like I think
That's
it
what
says a little something if you're like, I'm not hiding it. I'm not ashamed of it. I love you, and I want the world to know that I love you. But I don't
I think they're
discriminate.
both
I think
fine.
either way, they're both good. I think there's good and bad ways. I think there's bad ways to do it privately. Like, right? Like,
Depends on the
if you
couple,
wake up
really.
in bed one day and you just roll over, grab the ring off the nightstand, roll back over, she's half asleep, you tap her on the shoulder and you go, "Will you
wanna get
marry me?" Like that's
You got
private.
morning breath.
That's
Yeah.
like, yeah, let her brush her teeth. Yeah, let her brush her teeth before you propose to her.
Hmm.
Number one rule: let her get her nails did. Let her brush her teeth.
Yeah, no matter what you do, make sure her nails are done, and don't do it at a fucking baseball game.
Don't do it at a baseball
baseball.
game. Listen, if you do
Number
it at a
one.
baseball game, first of all, if y'all got any friends doing that at a baseball game, tag us in that video. We gonna clown them.
Clown on them.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We're gonna spend the whole entire the people want to know, and we're gonna change it to the people want to clown because we're gonna clown on all of them. But yeah, if you want to invite their family, friends to a beach, you know, don't steal that dude's idea. Mix it up a little bit. Invite him to a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Have
Go on
them-
a roller coaster right as the photo snaps.
Have them get on the ride first, and then you both get on last. And then when she gets on, she's like, "Whoa, my whole family's on here." Like, she didn't just see him go around twice before she
Wait,
got
what's
on.
happening? She's gonna think you had something really messed up planned. She's gonna think you had to.
And then,
Yeah,
here's what
we're all
happens.
here
Here's what
together.
happens. No. Oh, this is a Coogii intel. Coogii intel. Everyone get your notepads out. This is a Coogii player tip. Listen, roller coaster proposal. Here's how you do it. Family on first. Family on first. You go around. You have you and her ready. You know what I'm saying? You're schmoozing a little bit. You know, a little huggy, a little cuddle. But anyway, what happens is this. You get on there second. She goes, "Oh, my family's here. That's so great." Then what happens is when it gets to the top. Now, you've already talked to the person, the constructor, and you said, "Listen, when this shit gets to the top, I want you to stop it."
Mm.
Now, this isn't a roller. This isn't a Ferris wheel. Like, it ain't supposed to stop. I want you to stop it. So now you get to the top. You get to the top, right? And she's thinking, "Oh, we're gonna all die with my family here. Me, my family, we're all gonna die, right?" Now you get the blood flowing. You get the real endorphins going. And then you pop out the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But only after you've gotten her to safety. She can't say
Got her to
no
what?
after you've gotten her to safety.
Mm.
She can't say no to the man who just saved her in front of her,
Oh, okay.
in front
This
of
is
her
the
family.
manipulation.
She cannot
In
say
front of
no.
her family,
She
you just
cannot
saved
say
her life.
no.
She can't say no. It's not
She
allowed.
can't say no to
legally.
the man. So if any of you are shooting some curries, you're shooting some long shots. Listen, you got to do something like that for the.
Yeah.
And let me know how it works. Let me know how it
Kind
works.
of a month and a half that you think is about to leave you. This is what you have to do. This is the move. Get her whole family there. Stop. Make her fear for her life, and
And
then
propose.
pop the question. All right.
But don't fumble the ring. If you drop the ring,
Don't
it's
fumble
done.
the ring.
It's done. But moving on, John, the people want to know. The people want to know. What's the best way to get over an ex?
Focus on something else. I don't
What
know.
are you focusing
Whatever
on?
it is. Focusing on whatever it is that distracts you, that you care about, whether that be another person, whether that be a whether that be a job, a hobby, a passion, a craft, just whether it be crack. Just find something else to occupy your time and mind, and go to that. And also, like, hard cutoff. If you can't trust yourself, hard block on everything. If you can't trust yourself to not go nuts. But that's all. I
No,
mean, you
you
just
gotta,
gotta
you
separate
gotta block.
entirely.
You gotta block. You gotta forget they even exist. If you're really like you're really down bad, uh, and we know
I'm
some people that
I'm
have been
not a
down bad.
blocker,
But
but
if you're really down bad, like you just got blocked.
yeah,
You just got blocked.
I'm not a blocker, but I understand. I think most people should be blockers. I don't need to. I haven't needed to yet, but I'm prepared. I'm ready to block if I have to. But
A man that stays ready doesn't have to get ready.
exactly.
Man, you know what I think's the best way to get over an ex, John? You know what I think?
No.
I think the best way to get over your ex is with your next.
Ayo.
Hey, yo, listen, you gotta dive full force in, head first, right in the ball pit. I don't care about pink eye. I don't care about I don't care about these other kids that think the ball pit's theirs. That ball pit is mine. And you gotta dive in head first. So listen, the best way to get over your ex is with your next. And if your next
Put it on a shirt.
And if your next becomes your ex, then you gotta find the next. And we're gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna go into too much more detail because
we don't have to go too much further.
We're gonna too much detail now. Too much detail now. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Best way to get over your ex is with the next. Plain and simple. Tied and true.
Plain and simple.
Keep it old fashioned. Now,
Exactly.
Johnny, the people want to know. The people want to know. Should we normalize quitting a job without giving 2-week notice?
Considering that I've quit almost every job I've ever had without a 2-week notice, yeah, I think it's fully justified. Fully justified. Look, my guys, all you have to do is look at my back wall to know how I feel about the worker-boss relationship. All right.
We got the wall
I
of
am
freedom.
a big proponent of, you do not owe your boss literally anything. They are stealing from you constantly. You do not owe them nothing at all, especially if you have another job lined up. Then you absolutely owe them nothing. They will fire you, replace you so quick. They do not care about you. So my thing is, look, I'm okay. At this point in my life, I'm my own boss. I have my own business, and it's never been better for me as far as my relationship to my job. I'm like, now it's never been better. I have I own a democratically worker-owned business, and it's fun, and I don't have to answer to anyone. It's great. When I did have a boss, though, in the past in my life, all I really wanted, because I knew everything else was not going to, I wasn't going to get everything else. Having a boss sucks in general, but all I wanted was for them to respect me, human to human. Look past the worker to boss barrier, and speak to me, respect me as a human being, when on the rare moments that I ask for something. And every time that I have quit a job without putting in a 2 week, it was because I felt like they stepped away from human to human and went worker to boss when I asked for something reasonable. One time being, I asked if I could, I had a girlfriend at the time whose car got stuck in the snow on a blizzard, and she was panicking and she didn't know what to do. And I asked my boss, can you give me a half hour to run out and get her out of the snow, like go pick her up and get her somewhere because she's stuck in her car in the snow. Would not let me. And I've been working there for 2 years, and I had somebody to cover my stuff. They wouldn't let me. They were
You
talking
had
to me like I
someone to
was a
cover
jerk for
you,
even asking.
and they wouldn't let you
And
do it.
they didn't let me. I did it. I left.
I'm saying you had
I
someone to cover you though, and they still said no.
had someone to cover me and everything. I was already there, and this
Man,
pops
they
up, and I was
tripping.
like, I think this constitutes an emergency
They
that I
tripping.
have to go and attend to real quick. And I was planning on coming back, and I was going to clock out, and I had someone to cover for me and all this, and they still wouldn't budge because the boss brain got to them. And they were just like, I can tell you no, and you are in a position where you have to listen to me or you will starve. And I'm just not going to play into that. So I left, and I was out, and I went and I got a new job within the week. I was fine. But that's not possible always. And I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm a resourceful guy. I figured it out. And another one was just that job kept on putting me in a position where I had to do a I had to do work that wasn't under my job's description, and it wasn't what I was getting paid to do, and I was doing extra work, and I told them I don't want to do this long term, and they kept on putting that on my plate, and I said I'm not going to do this. I told you I don't want to do this long term. You told me that it wasn't going to be long term. I was helping you out, now help me out. And they said they pretty much were like, what are you going to do about it? And I was like, okay, I'm gone now, goodbye. and I walked out the door. With the very long-winded way of saying that, like, no matter how close you think you are with your manager or with your boss, they will eventually put on the boss hat and throw their weight at you. They don't. There may be a couple that are exceptions, but most of them, they will drop that friendship, that human to human relationship if they don't get their way. And because of that, you can never give them the respect of a human to human relationship. All the time.
Right.
That if they're willing to drop it for you, you have to be able to drop it for them. And if they're treating you wrong and you got a new job, you owe them nothing. If there's somebody that always treated you right and you just have to leave for whatever reason, then give them 2 weeks and be a nice person. But for the most part, you do not have to.
Yeah, I got two answers. For the people. So first, I'm gonna start with me personally, and then I'm gonna evolve out to my general views on this. So for me personally, in the industry that I work in, 2 week notices are useless, because in the industry I work in, when they know you're leaving, they have you hand in all the stuff they gave you for equipment, hand in all your client files, and then say, all right, here, give me your car key, and then walk you out the door. And you can't
Coogie's a
come back.
dominatrix, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know what he does for a living.
We'll let them wonder. But so basically, you're out. So like, if you put in a 2 week, they're gonna just fire you. Like you're not like the minute they know you're gonna leave, they're no longer gonna let you work there, because it's a liability for you to have access any point beyond which they know you're gonna leave. So in my field, it makes no sense. Now make sure you have a job lined up, obviously, in that case. But what I'll say is, in general, I still think it's no. Loyalty, especially when it comes to employers and jobs, is very, very overrated. Whether you're talking about the NFL, whether you're talking about the NBA, whether you're talking about working at Tops, working at Burger King, whether you're talking about working at Chick-fil-A, whether you're talking about working at Amazon, loyalty is overrated. Now, in interpersonal relationships, obviously, I like to think it matters. But why would you be loyal, right? You go to this place, you give your blood, sweat, and tears, right? In 30 years, after you give your blood, sweat, and tears, they're going to lay you off. They're going to fire you. No warning. You're going to have no job. Would you sign up for that gig if you knew that was going to be the outcome? No.
Oh,
Now,
sir.
here's the thing. Is that guaranteed to be the outcome? No. The issue is you're more likely to choose to work for them forever out of thinking you have to be loyal than they are to have you work there as long as you want to because they're loyal to you. They don't care. The minute they can find someone that can do a better job than you for cheaper, or even the same job for cheaper, they're going to replace you. Wherever you are. Wherever you are. So no, don't put in a 2-week notice. In fact, actually, show your value. You show your value more by not putting in a 2-week notice. Because if I'm not valuable, y'all should be fine a few weeks without a replacement.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of employers don't call your references.
I've
Some of
never
them do,
had
but
that happen.
a lot of them don't. So wouldn't worry about it too much. Just always make sure you got another job lined up. That's the number one rule. You do not want to, if you're a working person in America, you are never more than 1 month away from being homeless. So do not ever quit your job out of nowhere with no backup plan, because it can really screw you.
Yeah. No.
And otherwise, yeah, you owe your boss nothing.
The people want to know, John. The people want to know. And now back to the topic we talked about a little bit earlier. It wasn't a question, but we mentioned it. Is it ever acceptable to block someone in real life like we do in social media? What I mean by
Yes.
this is this. You had a quick answer, but let me finish. Here's what I mean by this. You see them. You haven't necessarily told them you don't want to talk to them because you don't talk that often. You didn't really feel the need to block them on the phone. You didn't feel the need to tell them you don't want to talk because you already usually don't talk. But you don't like them. You see them in public. And by blocking, what we mean by this is you just completely pretend that you don't know them, they don't exist, they're not there, even though you clearly see them.
Yes. Of course. Of course.
Elaborate
Nobody,
on that.
you owe nobody anything. Especially, estranged people that you're not close to. You owe them not even a polite conversation. If they are a problem to you, then you should not indulge them any of your time or energy. You don't owe them that. Now me, I'm a very friendly person for the most part, and even if I dislike you, I can normally have a polite conversation and move on. But I wouldn't expect anyone to have to do that. You shouldn't feel obligated to talk to anybody that you don't want to talk to in your personal life. That's ridiculous, and you shouldn't put that on yourself. You shouldn't make yourself feel like you have to do that.
Yeah. No, I think that it's just like with the phone. Like sometimes you gotta ghost, sometimes you gotta block, and sometimes you gotta ghost in person. I mean, shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'll put on sunglasses and put in headphones and pretend I never even met you. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm sociable. Like I love to talk to people. Right? If I know you, I like you. Right? I mean, shit. I called you last night. We talked for like 3 hours. I told you we were getting off after like 40 minutes. So I mean, I'll talk. I'll talk all day long. But man, if I don't like you, or you give me the vibe, and that's really what it is too. It's more so about the vibes you give. Because I'm agreeable. I generally will get along with just about, to a degree, just about anybody. But it's like if you give me the vibe that you don't want me to talk to you or me to approach you, right? I'm just not going to. Like I ran into a situation actually very similar, and I wasn't ignoring the person, but like they were giving me vibes for a little bit. They were giving me vibes for a little bit that like they didn't want me to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, John? Like you send out your little feelers and you're not getting nothing back, right? And so, and then lo and behold, like they're hitting me, asking me why I didn't I didn't say nothing to him, and I'm just like, I didn't even. I thought you didn't want to talk to me. So it's kind of like that. Like it's not as much about me towards them. It's like if you give me a vibe where like if I talk to you, it's gonna be an uncomfortable interaction. Then like I don't even wanna. I don't even want to do it. I got shit to do. It's like you know what I'm saying. I'm coming in to get groceries. I'm not trying to fuck up my day trying to talk to you. Like
Exactly. Yeah, you don't. I think whether it's you or them, yeah, you don't know anybody you're not close with a conversation or an acknowledgement at any point. You don't owe them that. You might be perceived as rude, but if you're at peace with being perceived as rude, there's nothing wrong with it. Uh,
yeah.
I can't tell you you're gonna walk out looking like the good guy, but you can do it. Is all I'm saying. I won't think any less of you.
Man, I'm waiting for the day that I pull up in shades and headphones and ignore somebody, and they run up behind me and tap me on the shoulder.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna just pretend I don't feel nothing. Just be like,
there are people who would do that too. That's the thing. There are people who would do that. There are insane people in this world
like, oh, you walked
that
past me and didn't
ignore
say
social
anything.
convention.
You didn't say anything. I'm like, yeah, that was for very good reason.
Yeah, people who ignore social conventions, they they scare me, man. I don't know. Yeah.
And the last one of the day, John, the last question the people have tonight.
Okay.
Let's get a good one. We got a few in here. Let me see what we got. Let me see what
All
we
right,
got.
people. I'm ready to answer
And he
any
doesn't
of
know these, by
your
the way. It's all off the cuff.
questions. Yeah, I don't
I
know any
didn't
of these. He
even
knows them.
show
He
them to
prepares
him.
his answers. I'm flying right off the cuff. No
I'm
teleprompter.
not gonna lie. I know the questions good enough to know that they're in the script.
Mhm.
But I mean, I didn't. I'm off the cuff, baby.
No, he's got all these pre-written answers. He's got them. He's reading
Yeah.
from a teleprompter on all of these
I
questions.
actually have a audio recording in my ear of
Oh, there's
all
someone
my
telling you what
answers.
to say.
So like this one is for you guys, and this one is for my answers. Someone's just
Right,
reading
right.
to me what I'm gonna say. I gotta
Yeah.
be,
Don't check behind the curtain. There's someone reading off the answers.
you know, I just gotta make sure that in this world, in this day and age, I'm politically correct. You know, so
Exactly. It's hard to go toe to toe with me, to be politically correct and out woke me. It's gonna be hard. I'm I'm a I'm a real I'm a real woke lefty,
you know what?
I'm it's hard to go up against a guy like me.
I think we got one. I think we got one.
All
John,
right, I'm ready.
the people want to know. The people want to know.
What do you want to know, people?
Are you settling down with a woman with more than 2 kids?
I'd have to be real crazy about her, and um, it would honestly really depend on the situation with the kid's other parent. Um, if the other parent in the picture is cool and chill and fine and is not going to be a nightmare, like I would consider it, sure. But like there are a lot of things that would prohibit me from doing that. If there was a really contentious relationship, if I was gonna have a problem with a kid's father or something, then I wouldn't want to be in it. I would just be like, look, like this ain't for me right now. And I think the older I get, the more I would be theoretically okay with it. But it's certainly nothing I'm looking for. I would have to like happen upon it. I would have to be like, oh, I'm super into this girl, and also she happens to have 2 kids. But when I'm swiping on dating apps and you have kids, at present, I'm not swiping on anyone with kids. Um, I'm not trying to, I'm not going out of my way to find someone with kids.
I'm
I
not
have,
gonna lie.
I have plenty of the at this point in my life, without tooting my own horn too much, I do fine. I do well on the dating apps. I see a lot of guys out there that are like, these dating apps are fake, and they're all these girls. They don't want to. They're not even real, and nobody swipes on me. I swipe all day, and I get 0 matches. I'm like, this sounds like a you problem, brother. I don't know what to tell you. I do absolutely fine anytime that I've gone on a dating app in my life. Now, is it because I get to put 6'4" in my bio? Maybe, but. Regardless, I've done fine on them, so I'm never like that desperate. So if I can be picky as far as like I don't want to swipe on someone with kids. It's just like I don't need to do that. But it's not out of the question.
How many
You know
matches
what
you
I'm
got?
saying?
How many matches you got right now?
I
Pull it
have
up.
no idea.
I need the receipts.
I think I haven't opened the app.
Here's where we find out, guys. We find out if John is, if he's got game.
Right now, okay,
Or
the
if
all
he's
cards on the table. Oh, I'm not signed in. All cards on the table right now.
I bet you not. I bet you not. You was signed up. You was signed in right up until I asked you, right?
No. Look, this is Tinder. Let me see.
Is that the screen after you hit sign out?
This is just what I opened the app, but it's not signed in. No, all cards on the table. I'm like got a not a serious thing, but like I'm not.
He said I don't got no matches. I match. I lay him down. I match. I lay him down, and we on ad, baby.
Unmessaged. This is off of like, this is off of like a month, I think, of being on here.
You took a picture?
What?
You took a picture?
No, I didn't take a picture. What are you talking about?
Oh, I said this man had to glow. He said I got it.
I'm in now. This is off like a month.
I don't need to log in.
1, 2,
I got
3,
a picture.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So this is off about a month. 28 that I swiped right on. Then it's claiming that I have 35 banked that I haven't seen yet. So
you got to get that gold.
So I'm like,
you got to get that gold.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna ever pay for a fucking dating app. You're crazy. But I'm like, that's off about like a month and a half of like being on that app. So I'm like, it's not terrible.
If we're being real, I don't even read all that shit. I look at, you got 2 pictures. You got 2 pictures to show me what I'm swiping for, and I'm swiping.
Oh.
And then
I read bios. I check the stuff.
Nah,
I'm discerning.
I don't got time for that. I'll go through my 12-hour swipes, about 10 minutes. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me.
No.
And after I
could go the whole day and not hit the limit.
After I do the first 10, I could do the first 10, and then be like 20 no's in a row, and not like no's like I thought about it. Like I swiped I swiped left on a right on accident because I just got in the routine of swiping left. But no, I do a breathing exercise. It takes like 15-20 minutes. So I just do it while I'm holding my breath.
Hold your breath for 15 minutes. Swipe on Tinder.
And go.
Yeah. So I was off Tinder for, like I said, I got like a 3-month-ish fling with a girl right now.
Ooh.
So I'm like,
are we gonna get a name? Are we gonna get a name?
No. I keep my personal life under wraps, brother. I don't even tell you what I do for a living.
The people want to know. The people want to know.
And the people can. I'll let the people know if there's something to let the people know. All I'll let you know is why I haven't even been swiping in a while.
Give her a little cameo. Give her a little cameo someday. Give her a little guest cameo.
It's theoretical, but yeah, I don't know if I don't know if it's ever going to get to that point of
you can bring your girl, Marquise can bring his girl, and I can bring my little brother.
Yeah, no, like I said, I don't think it's ever. I don't foresee it getting to the point of anything serious. So right now it's just hanging out. Got somebody that link with from time to time. That's fine.
So how do you know when it gets serious though? Like what happens,
when you say
John?
It gets serious?
So you just say it. You hit her up and you're like, "Yo, it's serious."
Yeah, I've been like
yeah. No, like, but seriously though, like what happens along the way where you're like, okay, it's serious now. Like, there's gotta be a couple of things that happen where you're like, okay, I'm feeling it.
When you're public facing.
That's the first like big.
I would say that, yeah, because you might not have to be in an official relationship yet, but if you're public facing, it's like, all right, now people are expecting an answer
Right.
as to what's going on. That's when it's serious. Otherwise, it's
Okay.
fine. So whatever.
No, that makes
Nothing
sense.
public facing. That's what I mean. I'm like, we're not in that phase. We're not in that phase. I don't know if we'll get there. I'm not planning anything. Just
Well, listen,
this
guys.
is purely just an explanation of why Tinder I'd been off of the app long enough that it logged me out.
Listen, guys. We're not gonna jinx Johnny right now, but y'all need to know I'm about to be a best man soon.
Oh, you're funny.
I'm about to be the best man. You know what I'm saying? I'll be
You're
the
funny,
best
you're a
whatever.
funny guy.
I'll be the best couch coach at the wedding. I'll be the best man at the wedding. I'll be the best black person at the wedding. Whatever you need, I got it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm giving you an out, by the way. You can put somebody as the best man and put me as the best black man.
That's funny. I've already thought about best man where I'm like, I have enough friends that like I think I would hurt if I didn't put them as the best man. And I'm like, you know what?
I
think
wouldn't
I might
care,
just
bro,
like
if we're being real.
I just pick my brother as my best man and then be like, there you go. No one can get mad at
Like,
me.
don't get me wrong.
You're not allowed to
I
get
would
mad at
want
me.
to. I would want to, but like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go home and
Yeah,
cry
everyone
about
would be a groomsman, but I just think I'm like, I think I just pick my brother because then no one can get mad.
it. You know what I'm gonna
I'm like,
do?
not gonna hurt anyone's feelings, and everyone else can be groomsmen.
And hopefully they don't see this, but I'm gonna pick my worst best friend as the best man, so my real
Yeah.
best friends can't get mad. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
just
exactly.
do a little switcheroo. Like you're the
Yeah, you just do a terrible person, someone you don't like.
you're the best. You're the
Make
best.
them your best
The
man.
best worst man.
The person that you avoid and you put on sunglasses and headphones when you pass by them, in
That's
public,
the best
that's who
man.
you make your best man.
Even if it's a lady, it's gonna be the best man.
You're the best man, exactly.
The best
Yeah,
person.
when's that gonna change? We're not there yet, but the people want to know, when's that gonna change?
When is that gonna
That
change? Yo, we don't gotta we
the
don't gotta
grooms,
answer for
the
that. But
groomsmen
when
and the bridesmaids, when is that gonna
they're gonna say
become
the best
gender
people,
neutral?
the best people, so you can
Yeah,
pick 2 men or
your
2
best
women,
friends. These are my best folks.
or two anything.
These are the grooms
Um,
folks. These are the brides folks.
right. I don't know. Well, you never know.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. And I mean, if you look really between the lines, we might not. We might be a little bit farther away today than we were yesterday. But
Yeah.
we might circle back around. We might circle back around. But you know, my answer is this. I'm gonna lead off with this. I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna lead off with this. I'm gonna end it with this. Don't hit me. Listen, if you got 2 kids, hold on. If you got 2 kids, don't hit me about nothing. I'm not taking care of them. We're not going on no dates. We're not hanging out. We're not having any vertical, horizontal activity. We're not no action, nothing. 2 kids, no, it's a wrap. One, we'll talk about it. Unless he's, he's an ignorant one. You know what I'm saying? If he's a badass kid, I don't wanna take that on. I almost gotta I had to pause before I said that. But I almost gotta get to know the kid too. You know what I'm saying? Cause I can't if I like you, and this kid is just a badass kid, right? Terrible behaving, don't listen, nothing. And kids do that, but my kids can do that, and I can teach. But now I gotta sit here and go, well, if I yell at her kid, is she gonna be all mad at me? This whole thing, so it's and I don't even yell that much, but if I yell, it had to be done. It had to be done. So that's my thing. It's just not worth it. But also, no.
Yeah, I
there's
think
a reason. There's a reason
of,
why you have 2 kids.
I think unless it's in times of absolute crisis, 10 out of 10 emergency mode, I don't think you should yell at children under the age of 10, ever.
Well, no, and people don't know this. All you're doing is raising their levels of hormones that are gonna make them act out more.
You're just stressing them out. They're dumb. Kids are so dumb. They don't know how anything works. You can't yell at them. They don't know what's going on. I'm you just as much as it's annoying, you yelling at them gets you nowhere. You just strike fear into their hearts. Great job. Your kid's scared of you. Good job. And especially don't yell at other people's kids. What are you doing? if they're 15, 16 and they're yelling back at you and they're smart enough to yell back at you, yell at you, then like, make your decisions from there. I'm not going to judge as much. But you're yelling at a 6-year-old, I'm going to look at you weird. Like, nobody's perfect, but you should err on the side of don't yell at little kids because they're dumb and they don't know how anything works.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. If I can't handle it with a conversation, then it's past my point. It's past my point. But yeah. So no, if you got 2 kids, don't hit me. If you got 1 kid, you know what to do. But anyway, Johnny, we're gonna switch gears now. I know you've been eagerly waiting for this segment. So we're gonna talk about some of the early games from this past Sunday. Now, what did you see? And I want you to tell the people, what did you see that stood out? Any players, any games, any plays?
First we gotta address the elephant in the room. I think the one that everybody's gonna have a take about. I'm not gonna have any type of real take about this because there's nothing smart to really say about it. It's like we already know what happened. But Aziz Al-Shaair, dirty hit on Trevor Lawrence. I think we can all call it a dirty hit. I'm normally I'm pretty forgiving of dirty plays for the most part, especially as far as like the speed of the game is considered. It's like that is really fast. You messed up. Everyone else knows you messed up. Whatever. There are certain dirty plays I'm not. Joel Embiid yanking down Mitchell Robinson while he's laying on the ground, yanking him down by his leg and injuring him for the rest of the season and into this one. That's so dirty and premeditated that I'm going to get angry about it. This one, it was like heat of the moment. You made a really bad decision. But the problem was the biggest issue. And I think the reason he got suspended as long as he did was because Al-Shaair got possessed by a demon for 5 full minutes. I don't know what happened, but he lost his humanity for 5 full minutes and was fighting an entire NFL team, was fighting the trainers as they were taking him out. The fucking police pulled up to take him out of the stadium. I was just like, bro, there has to be a moment when you're like, okay, I'm good. I'm done. I'm walking out. I'm sorry. And like, he just didn't. The whole time the camera was on him, he was absolutely stalwart in his belief that he didn't do anything. And I couldn't believe it. Obviously he's apologized since. And I think that the fact that he looked the entire time on camera like he had no problem and he was angry at everyone, I think that's why he got suspended for 3 full games instead of 1 or 2. Hate to see it happen, but it happens. And it's a speed of the game. Bad decisions are made. Aggressive players. What are you going to do? Another thing that I saw in that game specifically was what's wrong with the Texans. What is wrong with the Texans? Can I say it one more time? What's wrong with the Texans? I can't figure it out. What is wrong with this team? It's like they have a top 5, on a per game basis running back. They have a amazing top 5 on a per game basis receiver. They have a great young quarterback that was in MVP conversations at the end of last season as a rookie, and a better defense than last year, even though Will Anderson's still hobbled. It looks like everyone else is developing. You added new pieces. I don't understand why they're so vulnerable. They're still winning their division. They'll still make the playoffs. They look vulnerable. They look like they are not a threat like they were last year. I don't fear them dropping 35 points on me like I did last year. It's just weird. There's just like things slip through the cracks on that team. I don't get it. I want to just shout out Drake May, looking great in that Patriots game. Came up just barely short on an amazing Anthony Richardson final drive and 2-point conversion. Great job. But Drake May had 2 touchdowns left on the table because of terrible offensive line penalties, which just keeps happening. It's the story of every Patriots game this since they've put him in. I think his stats would be even more impressive if they weren't getting all of these penalties that are wiping touchdowns and giant plays off the board. Sneaky Drake May is sneakily possibly going to break Michael Vick's single season rush yard per attempt for a quarterback. Right now, he's in the lead. He is leading Mike Vick in that. So he could sneakily break that record this season. Very, very interesting. I think the NFC West looks like a dumpster fire. I'm not going to even go over the whole thing, but all of it looks bad. I don't understand what's going on. This was a division that could have had 3 playoff teams come out of it when we started the season, and now it looks like the NFC South. It looks putrid, like just an awful, awful division of mid teams that don't come through in the big moments. And Kirk Cousins looks washed. He looks terrible. I don't know what's wrong with him. He just looks bad. And I like Kirk Cousins, and I wanted him to succeed. I was really apprehensive about a 36-year-old quarterback with an Achilles tear. But he looked like, oh, maybe he's proven me wrong when he had that 500-yard game. And now suddenly he looks unplayable, unstartable. No touchdown in 3 weeks, 4 interceptions in his last game against the Chargers. I know they have the best defense in the league, but there's still no excuse ever to throw 4 interceptions in a game and consistently be the biggest problem of your team. So, yeah, I'm concerned. Last thing I want to talk about before I get to the Steelers game, before I'm going to get to the Steelers game, and then I'll pass off to you.
Do your thing, baby. Do your
Chuba
thing.
Hubbard's fumble in overtime. I had always been a guy that when I looked at the Bears, they had consistently year after year made this weird decision in overtime, which was on 2nd down, 3rd down, when we are in field goal range and we can win the game with a field goal, we're just going to kick it, and we're not going to run it down to the 4th down. And I kept thinking, this is so dumb. Run it down, because it's so easy to miss a field goal. It's so easy to get your field goal blocked. And who knows, you could get a little closer and make it easier, or you could pop a big run and just win it and it's over. Like, you might as well run it. The chances of missing a field goal are higher than the chances of fumbling. So I was like, why wouldn't you run the ball 3 times? And they would miss kicks and it looked dumb. And then Chuba Hubbard in overtime for the Panthers, when they were well within field goal range and they could have just kicked it and won the game and walked off the field, they decided we're going to run it 3 times and go down to 4th down before we kick the ball, and Chuba Hubbard fumbled and they lost because of it. So I don't know if there'll ever be a real good answer on what the smarter thing to do is there, but I can see the other side now, because that was brutal. That was terrible. The Panthers should have won that game. It was right there. If they kicked a field goal, they could have just won it. And now let's talk about the one game that anyone cares about in this entire chat, in this entire call, and this whole podcast. No one cares about any other game this week. Not one of them. We care about the Steelers-Bengals game that I have a lot of thoughts on. That game gave me hope in this team that I have not had in a very long time. I thought that this game we were going to win, but I thought it was going to be because we grind the Bengals down and they score 16 points and we score 18, and very similar to how we beat the Ravens. Because my thought was, if Joe Burrow has a Joe Burrow type game, we cannot keep up. So we have to just grind him down and stop him. And it started as bad as it could with a terrible pick 6 that was so bad that I texted Coogii immediately when it happened. And then from there, we were electric on offense, unstoppable, amazing on defense, 3 giant impact plays, huge turnover plays. We were getting to Joe Burrow, we were making him uncomfortable, and even though he was scoring and he was putting up numbers, he had a boatload of yards and 3 tutties, it wasn't enough to keep up with the offensive production that the Steelers had put on. And I have not said that ever, I don't think, that the Steelers won a legitimate shootout. And that game gave me the confidence to say, these guys, Super Bowl is on the table. I'm not saying it's likely. I'm not saying they're my favorite to win or anything. But if you had asked me last week, I would have said it's not on the table. Now it's on the table. We can win a shootout. So we can win any type of game you put us in. Will we? I don't know, but we can. So the other takes I had from that game, I said it earlier, if Joe Burrow was on a winning team this season, he might be the MVP. How great he's playing. It's amazing.
100%. He'd be the favorite.
Yeah, he's playing lights out, crazy. And I know everyone loves Lamar and they love Josh Allen. I'm just like, the level of output that Joe Burrow is doing on a losing team is mind-boggling. Joey Porter Jr., love him. Steelers family, born into the Steelers family, born to wear black and gold. He has a penalty problem. He has a big penalty problem. Huge. He needs to get that under control big time, because there were many times in that game where I was like, oh my God, they called a penalty on Joey Porter again. They're always looking for reasons to call a penalty. And then they show the replay and I go, oh no, he did that. Yep, never mind. He deserved that one. Oh, that was a clear PI. Oh, that was a clear hold. Oh, okay, that was a clear defenseless receiver. Like whatever it is, constantly. And I also wrote down, I believe this was from the Steelers game, I could be wrong, taunting should not be a 15-yard penalty. I think taunting shouldn't exist at all as a penalty, but if it's gonna exist, it should be a 5-yard penalty. That you're really telling me that taunting is the same as a face mask? Like, it's not. You think taunting is the same as spearheading someone? Like, it's not. It should not be. It should not count to the same level as these legitimate dangerous penalties. Let's pump the brakes. Taunting is as bad as a false start, if that. So I think that's dumb. The last thing I wrote down about the Steelers game was, and this is maybe a hot take to a lot of people, but okay, I feel this in my bones. Can we finally say that the Steelers are better than the Ravens? That they're just the better team? Can we say that? Like, everyone's like been going like, oh yeah, they beat them, and oh, the Ravens have lost some weird games, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I think we can just say the Steelers are better, right? Like, they did the same thing that the Ravens did against the Bengals, which is go band for band with them, except the Steelers handled the Bengals way better than the Ravens did. Like, the Bengals, the score looked closer than it was. The Bengals were not in that game at the end. Like, they needed a miracle on top of a miracle to have a chance of winning that. And they scored a touchdown in garbage time to get it a little bit closer, but they were not close to winning that game.
I think you might have a little bit too much dip on your chip. Listen,
the Ravens beat the Bengals their first time by a missed field goal.
But it's entirely
if McPherson hits that field goal, it's not even close. The Steelers haven't lost to a winning team all season. They have not lost to a team with a winning record the entire season.
We have only lost. You think that can go on the rest of the year?
I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying that at this point, where we're evaluating both of these teams, the Ravens, who seemingly struggle against these better teams, except for the Bills, they trounced the Bills, but it's just like I don't know. It's just like I do not see any reason anymore to say that the Ravens are the better team. I think they're really flawed. And like, Lamar is great and Derrick Henry's great. And beyond that, I don't see the reason. Like, it's Like, I think Tomlin's the better coach. I think the Steelers got the better defense. They have the best 3 defensive players across each teams are probably both all on the Steelers. Unless you want to say Kyle Hamilton is better than Minka, which is fine. I won't argue, but the Steelers got the better wide receiver 1. We have a solid running core. It's not as good as Derrick Henry, but it's serviceable. We both probably have similar old lines. I'm like, we beat them head to head. We have a better record than them. We've handled teams that they've handled better than they did. I just think right now we should say the Steelers are the better team. Power rankings should show that the Steelers are the better team.
Listen, I can't.
That's all. Maybe at the end of the season we reevaluate, but power rankings should show.
I can't argue with anything you just said. I can't argue with, admittedly, except for when you said that the Steelers are better than the Ravens. I can't argue with it, but I disagree with it.
Yeah, it's just vibes. That's the only reason anyone would say the Ravens. It's just like they think that the Ravens got better vibes.
The Ravens, they
And they're
do
like,
though. I mean, it's just like Lamar Jackson, bro. Like, it's Lamar and Russell. Come on now. But
I mean,
way,
yeah, it's they're better. They have a better quarterback, but that's my takes for Red Zone for the games in the early windows. I went on for a bit long, but I had a lot of takes. Saw a lot.
Nah, man came prepared. We love to see it. No, adding to that, you did text me. You said Russell Wilson, worst interception, entire career. He came back and battled back. And the Steelers actually answered a question that we had because we were wondering if they had an offense that could keep up. Right? Last week we posed a question if they have to play from behind, if they have to score if they have to score a lot against high-powered offenses, can they do so? They did prove this weekend that they can. So that was obviously an interesting game. An interesting thing to note as well, out of these games, there was 10 of these games, the early slates on Sunday. 8 of the 10 winners were away teams. I thought that was a little interesting. The only home teams to win in this slate were the Vikings and the Commanders. The rest of the teams were away teams.
Yeah, I think the really telling game for the Steelers will be against Philly. Like, I think that's in 2 weeks. We got Cleveland this week. And I believe we have Philly next week.
I got Saquon for $150.
Yeah, if I don't think we're stopping Saquon. I think he's just going to get work no matter what. But it'll be the same deal. Is like, I think the Philly game will probably be like, can we keep up with that offensive output? And it's against a better defense, so we're going to see. I think Philly is the second best team in the league right now. So if you're going up against, if we hold our own against Philly, if it's not a boat race, if it's not a bad loss like the Ravens had to Philly,
right,
then I feel really confident. Even if we lose by a field goal, like if we lose a close game to them, I'll still feel good because I really do think Philly is that good.
Philly is real good.
I think
they're legit. They're legit.
Philly is scarier to me than the Lions right now. I really do think that.
I can back that.
Especially with how injured the Lions defense is. Yeah, Philly looks like the scarier team to me. And number one is just still the Chiefs. I'm not going to discount them ever. Until I don't care how close their games are, how ugly their wins are. I'm not going to discount them until they are eliminated from the playoffs.
No,
then I will.
That's 100% fair. Outside of that game, and then obviously the 8 away teams winning, I texted the chat about this. The biggest fall off this year has to be the Falcons, man. It's gotta be the Falcons. Out of every team that we came into this season with high expectations, I don't think any team has let us down more than the Falcons. It'd be the 49ers, but they have a lot of injuries. And they do this every 2 years. They go to the Super Bowl, bad year, injuries. Not every 2. I'll give them every 4, every 3. But like they'll have a bad year with injuries, do terrible. They'll go to the Super Bowl 1 year. They'll make the championship game 1 year, and then they'll lose in the set division round 1 year. And like that's every 4 years for them. But outside of that, the Falcons, I mean, come on. We thought Kirk was going to go there, and they actually might have had a better record this point last year without Kirk than they do this year with Kirk. And I got to check that, but they really might have, because they're sitting about 500 right now, 6-6, and I believe they were at least 6-6 last year.
They went 7-10 last year, so
They started off hot.
they weren't.
They finished cold.
Yeah,
They were like I remember they were like at least 1-2 games above 500 at some point, and then they started losing a lot.
I think people were way too high on Kirk coming into this season.
Well, they
I
figured.
think,
Well, they
like,
figured the regular season was at least what he could do well, and then it was the playoffs where they would learn. But it seems that regular season Kirk is no longer in effect.
you know, I mean, he's 36 and came off an Achilles tear. Like, he's just, it's, you know, he probably would have downgraded without the Achilles tear. He has it, and he's never been a superstar. He's never been like a superhero quarterback. He's always just been a good quarterback. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's like when you take a step back as a good quarterback, the next step down is a bad quarterback.
Right.
Like, so
No, you're right.
I think it was overvalued him. And if they had Marcus Mariota on the bench, I would say keep Kirk in and for the rest of the season, and maybe he shakes something loose. But you have a young, ready to play rookie, not a project rookie. You have a young, ready to play rookie, or not. I mean, not even young really. He was 26.
Right.
So
One of the oldest ones in the league.
yeah, one of the older rookies, and super talented, ready to go, and could run that offense. So I think you got to put in Penix sooner rather than later. Get him his reps, and if he looks good, you just got to eat the Kirk contract. Like, you knew that was a possibility when you drafted Penix, that he was going to step in, look better than Kirk, and you'd have to eat the contract. You got to give him the opportunity because Kirk looks that bad. If Kirk was throwing lots of picks, but also like Jameis throwing lots of yards and touchdowns, then keep him in there and see what's good. But like, he just looks unplayable right now. And you're in a position where you can make the playoffs still if you play perfectly.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't know. I do not love the look of Kirk Cousins right now.
No, it doesn't look good. It does not look good at all. And then you also, I mean, you look at Texans; they're struggling. I mean, they struggled to beat the Jags. The Jags are not a good team, not a good team at all.
And they came back with Mac Jones at quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, even the Vikings. I mean, from that great start they had, I mean, they're starting to fall off a little bit. You would think they would. Excuse me. You would think they would handle a team like the Cardinals, who are talented, but if we're going back to what we thought the Vikings were and what we said they were back in Week 7, Week 6, they should have handled that team a lot better than they did.
I think the Vikings are still that team, but
so?
like all around. But Sam Darnold's not playing any. Sam Darnold's returned to Sam Darnold, which is like, thank God you have a really good offensive coach and a really good D coordinator. Damn Sarnold, exactly. You have a very good. You're probably the best D coordinator in the league, if not second best behind Spags, and you have and you have a really good offensive coach who has a great playbook and has a really humming offense. So it's like you're gonna win, but yeah, he does not look like the 4 touchdown 300-yard guy that we were seeing early in the season anymore. But when your defense is that good, you can still just steal games.
No, 100%.
So,
and
he lastly, did, and shout out, credit where credit's due to Darnold. He came back. So
yeah,
they were down big
quarterback.
Time.
He's playing a little bit worse than we expected at this point from what he was playing earlier.
Yeah.
And then
if you're a Vikings fan, you're overjoyed.
Yeah.
This was a rebuild
lastly,
year. You know what I mean?
Lastly, I would say the Commanders. It was nice to see Jaden Daniels, see that team bounce back from a couple weeks struggling. And the Titans team hasn't been a joke lately. I mean, lately they've been competing. I mean, we got a player in the segment just because he's been balling. So they got some players that have been balling. So not a great record, but I think they're a little bit better than their record shows. Especially Will Levis playing a lot better now than he was earlier in the season. But a
Levis got
convincing
better,
convincing win though.
and
42-19.
their
They had, I
defense
want
has
to
been
say,
good the whole year.
42-19. They kind of eased up too. They had 21 points. The Commies did in the first quarter, I believe. So
Mhm.
they eased up. But we're gonna transition. We got a whole lot to get into. Now we had a lot of primetime games, John. We had a lot of primetime games. So we're gonna start with Monday night, in which we had
Right.
the Denver Broncos beating the Cleveland Browns 41-32. Now, I'm going to start off with some thoughts on this. And first, again, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. Represent, baby. Represent. Listen, they talk shit on us all year. All off season. They said this team's going to have 4 wins. This team's going to be last place in the AFC West. I heard it all. I kept receipts. And I got one thing. I've been saying it. I'm going to say it again. We believe. We believe. Bo Nix is him. Bo Nix is the one. Bo Nix is going to lead us to the promised land. And I guarantee it right here, he's getting a playoff win rookie year. At least. One playoff win. And it best be in Buffalo. But he's getting a playoff win. This is a wild game. This
was my second favorite game of the week behind the Steelers game. This was an awesome game. Even it was crazy, explosions everywhere. This is when people say I like a defensive game. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, you have fun with that, bro. I like this game.
It was crazy. It's funny from two teams that you wouldn't expect to be in a shootout. Not because the Broncos are bad, but because they're a defensive team, and the Browns, quite frankly, struggle on both sides of the ball. So wouldn't expect a shootout with this game. But it was. Now, to a degree, there's a little asterisk. 2 of those TDs were defensive touchdowns. But, there's still points. It still adds to the score. It's still a shootout. Jameis threw those touchdowns. So
he threw 6 touchdowns. For
six.
anybody that's keeping score,
He threw 6.
He threw 6.
And he's been known to do this. I mean, he had a 30 for 30. He got himself a documentary here. So this is what he does. But
Jameis, if he didn't make mistakes like he does, if
he'd be a Hall of Famer.
He would be a Hall of Famer. He'd be one of the best quarterbacks that ever played the game. And that's not even close to an exaggeration.
Like, literally, if you combined his speeches with his good play and got rid of not his bad play, but got rid of the worst end of his bad play. Like maybe he throws 10 picks this season instead of 25 or 20. Like, it'd be insane. I mean, even against my team, right? I mean, I was hoping he lost, but it was even hard not to root for him. All right, you hear the speech before, you hear the speech during the game. You're like, man, I love Jameis. I think Jameis needs to be a starter next year just so we can see him play.
When he played against the Steelers, when I saw this, I think it was the halftime press conference or an interview, and he goes, I just want to thank the Lord for giving me the opportunity to play in the snow on a Thursday night football game. I'm like, how can I even be mad at you, bro? How can I? You're such a joyful guy. The best part about Jameis is that there's a lot of guys that try to be funny in the NFL, that try to make jokes, that try too hard. Like Will Levis tries to be funny. Pat Mahomes sometimes will try to be funny and it doesn't work. Jameis is not trying to be funny, and he's the funniest guy in the NFL. He is so sincere with everything he says, and it's hilarious. From the graphic.
What did he say about praying to the Lord about the picks?
Oh yeah, I'm hoping God can deliver me from these pick sixes. He's so serious, but it's so funny, man. Yeah,
he was outside of those pick sixes. He was balling. 34 of 58 again, threw for 58 times. That's a lot, but 497 yards, 4 TDs, of course, the 3 picks. He had 2 receivers from the Browns go over 100 yards. We had Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, as we've already mentioned, he got himself $2 plus a 35. Balling. Running game, that's where they struggled. From what I see, they struggled, and from what I saw, I mean, 18 carries between their two main backs. They got a total of about, if we're looking here, 62 yards. So, I mean, not very great. Averaging a total combined of about 3 yards a carry, which is not terrible. But when you're not running very much, it's not going to, if you're getting 3 yards a carry and you're running the ball a lot, that's one thing. But if you're only getting 3 yards a carry and you only ran the ball 18 times between those two running backs, you're not going to do very well. The Broncos, we already had them on a segment, but Jaquan McMillan, bald, Cody Barton. Funny moment, actually. So while I was watching this game, John, I didn't even tell you guys this. I was watching this game in the car. So I'm taking it in the car, and for a brief moment, I had to go back to my maps real quick. So I wasn't seeing the game. I was just hearing the game. And I hear, as the Browns are going down the field, I hear, Jameis throws, and he goes, Cody Barton in the end zone. And I go, who the hell is Cody Barton playing for the Browns? I was like, what position does he play? And then I go, wait, we got a pick. And I immediately went from, oh, shit, they scored a touchdown, to like, let's go, we got it. Because literally I heard Cody Barton, and I was like, wait a minute. Is that a tight end? Like the third string tight end of the Browns or something I don't know about? Nah, he's a linebacker, baby. Denver. That game was crazy. And, I mean, as a Broncos fan, it's just good to see a primetime game that I don't have to hear everybody talk about being a terrible game. Game. It seems like after that Colts game a couple years ago, it's just spiraled downhill since then. That Colts game a few years ago.
Ever since like they put the Broncos on like 7 primetime games when they first got Russell Wilson with Matt Hackett, who that's my other take.
Like they weren't ready.
I mean,
he wasn't ready.
Matt Hackett is the worst coach ever. Like just on paper, he's the worst ever.
Terrible.
He was so bad. If Russell Wilson looked that bad and now he looks like one step back of Seattle Russ. But like without going too far off the rails, crazy how bad of a coach he is in retrospect.
Terrible. And not much better of an offensive coordinator. Just slightly, but not much better.
But not much.
And shout out to potential future loud plays, quiet players. Shh. Marvin Mims. He might make an appearance one day. Last year there was a lot of flack. Second round pick, wasn't used very much, if at all. Actually, there was a running joke amongst Broncos fans that Russell hated Marvin Mims, and that's why he never threw to him. So, 4 targets, 3 catches, but the boy had a $105. He had 105, 1 TD. He had a 93-yard touchdown catch. I watched this thing. He could have got tackled when he caught it. He caught that. He split 2 defenders, ran down the field. Man, it was a thing of beauty.
Beautiful play.
I almost cried. Because I don't think I've ever witnessed in primetime since Peyton Manning. I have his jersey upstairs. Since Peyton Manning, I haven't witnessed a primetime game that I was so proud of my Broncos since then. Man, and I digress. I go all night, man. We talk about the Broncos all night, but we got a bye week. But with that, John, do you think, question for the Broncos, do you think the Broncos can win a playoff game, and do you think they found their future quarterback?
It certainly found your future quarterback. That's not even a question. Like, when we look through the terrible litany of awful quarterbacks that you guys have drafted, young guys that you've given a shot to, and how terrible they looked, you see it instantly. Like, he's competent. He's comfortable. He gets the ball out multiple levels. He's not afraid to ad lib and switch something up. Like, he throws it deep frequently enough that that some of those are his decision. That's not what Sean Payton schemed up, because Sean Payton's not a throw it deep guy.
Right.
100%. So I mean, he's there. He's not afraid. He's ready for it. He looks good. Can the Broncos win a playoff game? In any given Sunday sense, yes. It would just be like an insane upset, I think, if they did. Like, unless here's the way that they do, and I wouldn't be shocked at all, is if they surge really hard and get the 5 seed and play the Texans, then I wouldn't be shocked, because the Texans, I think, are really vulnerable, and I think you guys could just overpower them, and I would probably pick the Broncos in that game. Otherwise, though, like, you're going up against either the Steelers, who have already beaten you guys, or the Bills, who, as much as I want to clown on them, the Bills are a really good team, or, God forbid, the Chiefs, who you could have beaten.
We could.
Like, it's possible.
And
I'm not saying it's
and I'm not
not.
gonna lie. Part of me hopes they get the 2nd seed so we can play them. The only reason I want the Bills to get it is so I can go see the Broncos beat them.
Right. Yeah, it's like, I think you have a chance. You have a puncher's chance in all of them, but it's really just like the quarterback difference. Like, Bo's
Right.
good, but like, he's young, and he's not he hasn't shown superhuman abilities yet, like some of the other, the great quarterbacks in the
I'll say
AFC.
he is the 2nd oldest quarterback in this class.
Yeah. So,
but experience-wise, obviously
one?
a little different. Yeah, Penix is 1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he
or at least out of the quarterbacks that matter.
right.
I don't know what the
yeah,
7th,
I mean,
the 7th round
chance,
quarterback.
but
I don't know.
It's the same reason that I'm like I'm not super keen on saying like the Steelers can make the Super Bowl, where it's just like, at the end of the day, we're like, that means that Russell Wilson has to outduel, realistically, Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes. They're just two better quarterbacks. I hope he does too.
I hope every quarterback in the entire league that week outduels Josh Allen.
Yeah, we all want that to happen. That'd be great. We'd all love to see Josh Allen lose. But I am a Josh Allen truther, and I like to poo-poo Josh Allen, but I'm never gonna say he's not a super talented, Hall of Fame talent quarterback, even though he hasn't done anything to get him there yet.
Yeah. No, we'll see. We'll see. I think this year is going to be a big year to determine kind of what Josh Allen is and what he isn't.
One of the better takes I've heard about Josh Allen was that I saw somebody say that they could see Josh Allen winning a Super Bowl late in his career, Elway style, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you've been in it long enough, like your physicals aren't all there, but like you've just seen the game long enough, and you still got the arm, and you still got the leadership, and you just like end up in the right place in the right time with the right guys around you, and you pull it off. And I'm like, I could see that. But like, yeah, Josh Allen, I don't know if I'll ever think he can just outduel Patrick Mahomes if he crashes into him, or just beat everybody he runs into in the playoffs right now, when how good other quarterbacks are. It's just hard. Like, you have to outplay, not this season, but you have to outplay Joe Burrow if he's in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson, and Pat Mahomes. It's like, that's a rough ask.
Right. No, it definitely is.
So
definitely is. But transitioning over, we're going to go back in time. Sunday night, John, we had the 49ers at the Bills. The Bills in dominating fashion, winning 35-10. What are your thoughts on that game?
Well, I hinted already when I said that the NFC West is a dumpster fire.
You did.
I did say that, but I didn't speak on the Niners specifically. Love to see a snow game. Snow games are fun to me. I enjoy them. The Niners, they are very injured, but they suck more than that. I don't know why they suck so bad. They should be competitive still with how good their team is, but it's just they're an old team. They're an injured team. They're making dumb mistakes. Their defense is extra injured, but their offense was supposed to be what really propels them. And I'm sorry, like, you have everyone except Ayuk for most of that, for the first quarter of that game, 2 quarters, until McCaffrey goes out. And like, in the past couple of weeks, though, when you've been losing, you've been 1-3 since Bosa put on the MAGA hat. You're 1-3, and you've had McCaffrey that whole time. Like, and you're not winning these games. Ayuk should not be the make or break of a team with that much talent on it, and for some reason he is. Is that what we're saying? Like, I don't think so. Like, that's just crazy to me. I don't know why they suck so bad. But I don't hate it because I find the Niners kind of annoying. So I'm okay with it.
Why are they annoying?
They what?
Why are they annoying?
I don't know if I could put it into words as much, but it's just like they never get over the hump. It's very kind of similar to how I feel about Josh Allen, where it's like I think you're good, I respect your talent, but like you've never gotten over the hump in the sense that like I should respect you as much as people are telling me I should. Or even like Aaron Rodgers before like these past couple of seasons, like when he was good, when he was MVP Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
It's like and he's gotten over once. He got his Super Bowl. But in like the past 10 years, I was just like, what have you done that I'm supposed to fear you and respect you as a legitimate threat? I don't see it. Like, and I felt that way about the Niners the whole time. So people keep telling me you have to see them as a threat. I'm like, in the Super Bowl last year, I was like, I don't fear this team. Like they never get it done. And what do you know? So Niners, yeah, I'm so low on them. They've given me no reason to believe anything else, and I only picking them this week because I want to be consistent with my bold prediction. The only other take I have, shout out Josh Allen, great game. That shouldn't be a receiving touchdown. That he had.
Thank you.
I am like that. It should be. This is how it should be counted. Josh Allen threw a pass to Amari Cooper. He gets a pass on his thing, and Amari Cooper handed it off or lateraled it, so it should count as a run. Like if you lateral it to somebody, that's a run. So like, are you telling me that if I throw a forward pass, like I drop back, I'm in shotgun, I throw a forward pass to a guy that's 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage, and they lateral it to someone else, that's a passing touchdown for me?
Or even
like,
better,
what are we talking about?
I pitched to the running back on a toss.
What? Right.
Like is that really any different than
It's a run.
what he did? Like
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's still cool. Like you threw a pass and you got a rushing touchdown on the same play. That's really cool. But like that's not a receiving touchdown.
No.
A quarterback getting a receiving touchdown should be Marcus Mariota when he threw it and it got batted back into his own hands and he ran it in. That's a quarterback getting a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, 100%. No, I saw that and I was like, no way. Like that's, bro. He literally ran that in. Like he did not receive the ball. He caught a pitch.
Right.
He threw the ball. It wasn't batted back to him. Like, because if you really want to get specific, what happened was, Amari caught it, and if you want to be technical, he fumbled it back to Josh Allen because if you throw a pass what's a pass and you drop it, it's incomplete. If Josh Allen dropped that, would it have been an incomplete pass? No, it would have been a fumble.
Right. I'm like,
so if
it's a pass followed by a because if he had, so what you're telling me is, if he had handed it off to Josh instead of lateraling it, that would have been a passing touchdown to Josh Allen. Like, no, it was a pass to Amari Cooper, and then Amari Cooper handed it off, and now it's a rush.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Somebody up there doing stats must know something I don't, because
I guess my only thought on it would be like, since you're already past the line, the linemen are now in a passing situation. Like the linemen aren't operating like it's a running play. Like they're operating like they can't go downfield. So like now that the play is beyond the line of scrimmage, it is a pass play. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Like if the linemen have to treat it like it's a pass play, even though it's a handoff, then like those stats will. Maybe like, I don't know.
yeah.
But otherwise, like, good job, Josh Allen.
Yeah, that was good. It was a good game. It was a good game. Snowy game.
Clinched the division.
We love snow games.
I do like snow games.
James Cook went off.
Very good.
He did
Very
work.
good.
He did work. I was a little bit, when I was looking at the stats, I was like, dang, Brock Purdy only threw for 94 yards. But then it looks a little bit better when you see Josh Allen only threw for 148. So, Must have.
I had a friend in a fantasy league ask me if they should trade. There was other stuff in this, but like the main crux of the trade was James Cook for Jonathan Brooks, and I was like, "You are a stupid person if you don't make that
Brooks
trade."
isn't
Or
even
if you,
playing.
I was like, this was when he was injured still, and they're like, "Oh, but when he comes back," and I'm like, "When he comes back,
He's not
the
gonna have a
best
job.
case scenario is that he's James Cook." Like, what are we talking about? James Cook's a number one back who gets passing and rushing work and is almost on their 3 downs. Like, what are we talking about? James Cook is what you would want Jonathan Brooks to turn into. You're a crazy person, but people overvalue Jonathan Brooks insanely. A guy coming off an ACL tear that was
And
already
he's
in
a
a
rookie.
system with another, with another uh, back who's good.
And just got
Like,
paid.
I don't. And like later he got paid, and that was like the big moment that everyone was like, "Oh man, maybe I'm dumb and I overvalued Jonathan Brooks." Like,
Nah, no, 100%. People picked him in fantasy, and they thought when he came back, it was just takeover.
mm-hmm. Don't overvalue, don't overvalue what you don't know.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Burn the hand.
You don't know
two
what
in
you
the
don't
bush.
know. For the 49ers, John, for the 49ers, is it time to blow it up?
I think it's a controlled demolition time. Not blow it all up. Not level the whole thing. Controlled demolition. I think you gotta move a couple of pieces around. I think keep the really good defensive guys like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, really just those guys. Like keep those guys. Maybe you can move around the Ufanga, the some of the corners. There are some guys that you might be able to move. And then at receiver, yeah, you've got 2 guys that are sitting on the bench a lot that could just be your receivers, and Pearsall and Juwan Jennings that you're not paying.
Right.
And you might be able to just go, look, we need a reset. Like it's not working with Debo and Ayuk. Let's trade them and get some picks. Let's get some draft capital and try and get some new guys. Kittle's too good. I think you have to keep Kittle no matter what.
At this age?
He's a little injury prone, but like he's making tight end money. Like it's not breaking the bank.
Okay.
It's paying Ayuk like a number 1 receiver and paying Debo the same stuff. It's like these guys, Ayuk, I've always thought like you're paying him too much. He's not that level of receiver. I've always been low on Ayuk. He's very good, but he's super inconsistent, and he is not a dependable every game guy like the top receiver, like an AJ Brown. Like he's not that guy, and you're paying him like he's just under that guy.
Right.
So I'm just like, maybe just trim the fat a bit, like these guys that aren't moving the needle as much. And I'll be honest, I think I've seen enough on Purdy. You can't, if you're going to keep him around, he cannot be paid like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He is a 40 mil guy.
So he's not breaking the bank?
You are paying him like Kirk Cousins. He's a 40 mil guy. Like, yeah, you cannot pay him like he is one of the best, like he's one of the best in the league. You can't give him. I mean, the Jags, I think, are going to be sick to their stomach after paying Trevor Lawrence what they did, and they're going to be eating that for a while.
And they're not going to have any money to help him.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to the Hall of Fame argument where people say, is he a Hall of Famer if you have to ask? No. It's like, should you pay a quarterback top of the market money if you have to ask? No. I kind of feel that way about Purdy, where it's like, I don't think you're the needle mover, man. And maybe that's the big problem with the Niners when they keep getting a little close and they can't. It's like, you've never had the guy at quarterback. You don't have to have the best. You don't have to have Mahomes or Josh Allen, but like you need to have you need a Justin Herbert or a CJ Stroud or like a just really good dude. Yeah, maybe Bo Nix.
There was
But you
actually
needed, yeah, you needed one of those like fringe good like top quarterbacks.
I got in an argument
Oh,
earlier in the year with a Broncos fan, a 49ers fan actually. So Colin Cowherd had said that he was doing, I think it was like some segment he did. It was basically quarterbacks with Brock Purdy, and would you take Brock Purdy over them or them over Brock Purdy? And he had Bo Nix, and this was even before Bo Nix was playing great, and he said Bo Nix, and everybody was like, oh, da, da, da. And somebody was like, and I literally said to this straight up, I go, listen, I guarantee you right now, if the Broncos came over to the Niners, called him up, and this is before he was playing good, by the way, and I said, if they called him up and they said, hey, we're going to trade you Bo Nix for Brock Purdy straight up, I guarantee you the Niners take that deal. If the Niners called us and said, hey, we'll give you Brock Purdy for Bo Nix straight up, we ain't taking that deal.
I think Brock Purdy's a starter. I just don't think he's like the needle mover. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he's fine. I don't think he's like a backup, but he's just not. He's not the answer. And I
Could
just
he be
go.
the Geno replacement in Seattle?
I think he's like.
Like that kind of
Yeah,
quarterback?
I think he's maybe a little bit on that level. Like Gino, the highs are higher, but the lows are lower. Whereas like Brock is just kind of like solid, and when he's got a healthy team with everyone operating at full capacity, he looks lethal. But he's not, now that he doesn't have that, he's one guy down, now two guys down. I mean, playing the season without McCaffrey, it's like we've seen him. He looks vulnerable. He looks not the same. He does not look like a $60 million a year guy. So if you're talking about for the long-term future, of course you'd rather have Bo Nix. Like for one season, maybe it's a toss-up. But I mean, I look at that team though, and I'm like, Bo probably would have played better. Bo probably would have them better than 5 and
I
7.
think Bo's doing better now, and he's got way less talent around him,
Yeah.
even with the injuries.
So I think,
Man,
probably right now, Bo.
just imagine if the
Right,
Broncos
right
get
now, I think Bo.
some good receivers behind Cortland.
Mhm.
Crazy. Our O-line's balling. Actually, the Broncos have the best differential in sacks, plus 25. The next closest is like plus 12. I mean,
difference that a really
that's
good
also,
coach makes.
for those of you out there that don't know what that means, that is the sacks you have allowed, you subtract that number from the sacks you have caused on your defense.
Mhm.
We are...
It's the difference of having a really good offensive coach. Like
Yeah.
offensive coach, people think skill positions, and it's like the O-line. The teams with good O-lines consistently have really good offensive coaches.
Right.
Like it's how it goes.
No. 100%. 100%. So I can't wait. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be... We'll save it for a future episode, but maybe we'll have a segment called "We Believe." It'll be a segment.
Mm-hmm.
We believe, and it'll be, I don't know, shit we believe in, something like that.
We believe.
We'll just get on here and spout our personal beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
We believe. But anyway, we got about 8 minutes here. We're gonna wrap up quickly. But we have a bunch of games from Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Now, we're not going to get in-depth on all of them. We're going to kind of, trim the hedges on them a little bit, cover the top. But we had the Bears and the Lions, Giants and Cowboys, Dolphins, Packers on Thanksgiving, Lions, Cowboys, and Packers winning respectively, and the Chiefs beating the Raiders 19-17 on Black Friday. You gotta have the Raiders playing on Black Friday. It only makes sense.
It's fun.
But yeah, from what I saw with this though, first of all, contrary to what Marquis said earlier, I think Drew Lock looked all right. He did not play great. Did not play great by any stretch, but he looked all right. Better than DeVito for sure. With some more time, he could look better than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, for those of you that don't get the reference, but yeah. So we'll see. The Cowboys, my thing with that is I don't want to hear all these Cowboys players talking about we back. Micah Parsons, we back. Back to where? Square one? Like, y'all motherfuckers. I'm not gonna digress because I'll go off on the Cowboys. But my mom's a Cowboys fan too, so that kind of hurt. I was at Thanksgiving. I was watching them. She was rooting for the Cowboys. I was rooting against them, and she won. I'm glad I didn't bet. I almost bet her some money on the game.
Their defense looks a little like it looks like it's at least gotten a little better from how terrible it was early in the season.
Oh, I would. If any part of that team would rebound, it would be the defense, I think.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying earlier, like, I don't think the Cowboys are in a terrible position. I think like they are a couple of pieces away from being back to the level they were at last season. Like I think they're an Ashton Genty plus receiver or two maybe, and filling out the defense with some good picks and free agent signings. Like they're not far away. They just had a season from hell with a lot of injuries, and it's hard to overcome that in a really competitive NFC.
Listen, I've said it before. I'll say it again. They need to tank for Shador and get Deion Sanders. That's all I'm going to say.
I think Shador might be off the table at 5 wins.
I don't think they want to.
I think
they're trying to win. McCarthy don't care about next year. He ain't going to be there.
Yeah, you have to be worse than the Giants and the Raiders because they are both taking quarterbacks. So if you don't have a worse record than one of them, Cam Ward and Shador Sanders are gone. That's it. You know.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you have to reach on Carson Beck. The man.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny enough, I don't know if you saw this, John. He said, "I don't watch football. I find it." What was the word he used? He didn't use boring. He might have used like annoying or something like that. Now, he clarified, he said, "I watch film. I don't watch football outside of film." I didn't think that was a good look. This? Carson Beck, the one who was the top-ranked quarterback before, like 2 years ago, he would have been a top quarterback.
Yeah, I know who Carson Beck is. I didn't see him say this.
After a game, he said, "I don't watch film. Or I don't watch football. I don't like to watch it. I find it boring," or something like that. And then he said, "But I do watch film." But I'm just like, man, that's not what I want to hear my quarterback say. Like, I'm about to draft the quarterback, and this man just said, "I don't like watching football." Like,
it's kind of like all the quarterbacks, the top quarterbacks are all kind of shitheads. Like, I was like thinking about this the other day. Like, they're all kind of shitheads. Like, none of them are like, really solid. You know, just toe the line, doesn't say anything crazy. Like Patrick Mahomes type guy, where it's like, he's just never going to say the wrong thing. Like Tom Brady type guy. Like, I'm not going to say anything bad. Like all of them are kind of shitheads. I'm okay. And I like a shithead, so I'm good. But I do find that
they
funny.
all say some stuff that makes you go, did you say that?
Yeah.
like, do you know you're on TV?
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's some shit you tell your boys. You don't say that shit in an interview.
You can't say like football bores me unless you're like here's
a D lineman.
If no, I was like, if Michael Jordan, peak of his powers, was like basketball bores me, I would be like, that's cool. like that's a cool thing to say amazing. Because you're
like, or LeBron James or something. Like, yeah.
But it wouldn't work into LeBron's character, but I'm like the type of guy Michael was when he was playing. If he had said basketball bores me, I'd be like, that's sick. Hell yeah. That's cool as fuck to say. But you know, if Jokic says that, like basketball bores me, I'd be like, yeah, of course. Like
he just wants to go home to his horses.
He wants to go to his horses. Like, that's sick. But like, yeah, as a rookie who hasn't been drafted, or as a college guy who hasn't been drafted yet,
especially one slipping, like you're not just like, it's not like you're like you're balling, like you're slipping.
Like, you're not even you're not the top guy anymore. There's questions
you need to
about
be in there like, I love football. I watch it every day.
Yeah. At that point, you got to make up some ground and say like, I don't care about football. Like, okay, all right, bud. I know you're trying to prove something.
And he has no swag either, so he doesn't even look cool when he says it. You know what I'm saying? Like if Shador said it, like he'd be like, man, I don't watch football. That shit's boring. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like something like with swaggy. This dude just like bold face, like serial killer vibes. Like, I don't watch football.
I don't watch football. I
It's
don't like
boring.
it. It's not for me.
Like I just like,
Yeah.
bruh, like
You have to earn to be able to say I don't care about my sport. You have to earn that. Like if
have
you're
to
really, really good, you're allowed to say that.
and as soon as you're not
Um,
good anymore, people are gonna let you hear
yeah, exactly.
it.
Like you have to be
like
at the
when
top of
Anthony
the
Richardson,
game.
like when Anthony Richardson said the college was harder than the NFL, and then that man subbed himself out.
Yeah. Uh yeah, or like it's just there's certain guys that could and certain guys that couldn't say it. Like
Right.
Zion Williamson cannot say I don't care about basketball. The bad look.
Shit.
You know.
Only thing he cares about is the food.
I care about my getting a full back tattoo while I'm injured. That's what I care about.
Yeah. So no, the Cowboys, sadly but fortunately, are not back. Bears at Lions. This led to some headlines. We had
Mhm.
some myths. It seems like
That
we've
was
been having a lot of Bears collapses at the end of games. Games they realistically should have won. The last 3 of them.
I don't know if there was a worse ending to a game this season. I think that was the
40
worst
to
end
50
to any
seconds
game.
on the clock, and they didn't get a snap on until there was 16 seconds on the clock. They could have easily just used a
Mhm.
timeout earlier, and then got that ball off right. You do a play incomplete like you had. Now you're looking at 30, 40 seconds left.
Well, and people were like, anyone that was blaming Caleb, it's like, yes, Caleb bears a little bit of responsibility.
Oh, you
Like
can't change the
there
play
is a
that. You
level of
can't
like,
change the
you're
play
the
that
quarterback,
late. Like,
not even change the play, call a timeout. Like you
oh,
are in the
like you mean
position, you could call
so
the timeout,
it's
and
okay to
you're
not
the
like
quarterback.
follow you're like be subordinate if it's that situation. Like you're like,
Right. But
I don't
right,
care what
but
coach
he's also a
says.
rookie.
I'm calling timeout.
Yeah. Right. But he's also a rookie. He might not feel like he can do that. He might have been like, look, the smart play and the smart play would have been if you can get back to the line in 10 seconds, you get back to the line, run a quick play, get a little closer, and then call the timeout try to save the timeout for the field goal. And because they were like 4 yards outside of the ideal field goal range for Santos. But Santos could have hit that field goal. It's not like it was completely out of his range. And you could have also just called the timeout immediately and run a play and spiked it, or run a play, go out of bounds. You know what I mean? Like there's options. Eberflus deserved most of the blame because you have a rookie quarterback in there. You know you have a rookie quarterback in there. A coach should be able to see the time and look at his team and see what everyone on the planet who was watching that game saw, which was, oh God, they're not going to get to the line fast enough. They look out of sorts. They look like they don't know what's going on and confused, and it's taking a long time. I need to call a timeout right now and regroup. And like that's what a good coach would do in that situation, and they didn't do it. And he deserved to be fired for that. Like you already were seen as on the chopping block, and that was such a blunder, a lack of leadership, and a lack of game intuition that like yeah, perfect time to be the first mid-season Bears coach firing. So I don't blame it at all. That was a terrible end to that game because I was so excited. I thought that thing was going to overtime and it was going to be a real fireworks show, especially with how I thought it was a redemption game for Caleb to
Yeah,
beat the Lions with the whole world watching.
100% on Thanksgiving.
Right. And it would have been a moment. Like it would have been his I'm here moment. And it was kind of taken from him a little bit because of him, but mostly because of the coach.
Yeah,
And
like
because
you
he
said.
got them back there.
No, he did, and I remember watching that game too because obviously I had the 3 road dogs, right? So I was heavily invested in those games, and I saw the score initially, and I said, "Man, it's already a wrap for me." And when I saw them come back, I had a little sliver of hope. A little sliver of hope. Actually, I had hope in every game except for that last one there. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, no, never a good time to fire a coach mid-season. But if there is a best time for the Bears, it was right now,
Mhm.
and they need to pull the plug
Yeah.
because they've been fretting on this for years now. They could have fired him 2 years ago when the season ended. They could have fired him last year when the season ended. They could have fired him at any point this year. and they finally had something that happened that made them say, you know what, we're done. We're done.
Hmm.
We're gonna get rid of him.
I do see just on paper the roster. Theirs is the
They need to
attractive
get.
coaching
They say
option.
They say Kingsbury is right now a potential dark horse.
I
Which
like
I did
Kingsbury,
say a
man,
couple
but-
weeks ago. I did say a couple weeks ago they should have hired him as head coach.
Yeah, I like Kingsbury, man, but I just don't know if he.
I think
we
they
were
should
saying
get
this earlier,
Vrabel.
like,
They should get Vrabel and
he's-
poach Kingsbury for OC.
Yeah, or Ben Johnson. Like if you can get Ben Johnson, you go for him. I think he like deserves that shot. He's an offensive genius.
You think he'll stay in division?
Yeah, why not? Like, why not? Canales did it. I think you go for Johnson. You want an offensive guy. You want a guy that can build a system around Caleb, and really grow with him in that system. And I think it's a really interesting job. The thing I keep hearing though is that there is the president of football operations there, so not the GM, not the owner, but there's this guy there that holds this title that I guess pulls all the strings and is the
president, Kevin Warren?
middle management dirtbag. Who?
Kevin Warren?
Maybe, I don't know.
He was the
I
big.
don't
He
know
was
the guy's
the
name.
So one of their presidents, their president Kevin Warren was the Big Ten commissioner before he came over there.
Right, okay, so I think it is him because it's not the GM.
I know that because
what,
Ohio
Paul
State, baby,
GM?
Big Ten.
It's this. That's what I keep hearing is that's scaring coaching hires away. Is that like that guy being this like over your shoulder middle manager type is scaring coaching candidates away. A guy like Vrabel who would want control. And so it's like if you get that guy wrangled, your world opens up. But I already told you about Kingsbury, where it's like, does he look better in a general's uniform or a lab coat? Like, then that's how I'm going to decide whether I think you're a head coach or a offensive coordinator.
He looks better in a lab coat.
And that's how I feel about Mike McDaniel as well.
Yeah.
So that's that game.
And then I would say Dolphins Packers. I don't think we need to say much on that, to be honest. All we need to say
exactly
is
what everyone knew would happen.
Tua can't throw in the cold. Tua can't play in the cold. You didn't hear it here first, but you won't hear it here last.
Probably not.
You won't hear it here last.
Did not hear it here first. We've
you're
known
gonna hear it here today.
This is a known thing. He can't play in the cold.
He can't.
So
I tried to ignore it.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked.
I tried to say they're gonna win. It's gonna happen. He just can't. He can't. Which means unless the Dolphins are the 1 seed, they can never win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's true. They need that home game and they need the Super Bowl to be in a stadium, in a dome.
Yep.
Because
which it usually is. But,
yeah.
Or a warm city.
Yeah, warm city or a dome. But man, that guy. That's another one where it's a Brock Purdy type quarterback where you're just, and I'm glad he got his money, especially with the injuries and stuff. Like, I'm glad he got paid because he now has the ability to walk away if health becomes a real big problem. But he's another guy where you're like, well, should we pay him? And like, I think the Dolphins are maybe regretting that one a little bit. Maybe,
I mean,
maybe he's not a long-term option.
He looks good when it's not cold.
Yeah, he looks good when conditions are ideal. Great. Like,
10 weeks out of the season.
You have to go through Arrowhead or Buffalo to win the AFC as presently constituted. You have to go through Arrowhead or Buffalo. If you can't do that, then you have no business being on a football team or being a starting quarterback.
Right.
Like, or at least paid like one of the best quarterbacks. Like Tua as a starter, obviously.
So
but
you're saying even if he
like,
can get you there, if you already know when you get there he's not going to be able to do it, you might as well move on.
Yeah. If the AFC went through Los Angeles and Houston, then it would be one thing, but it doesn't. It goes through Buffalo and Kansas City. So you're going through two frigid wastelands to get to the Super Bowl.
It actually wouldn't be
So
the worst thing if it went through LA because it's basically going to be a home game for all those away teams.
yeah, good for them.
Because
Definitely for the Steelers.
nobody in LA shows up but the celebrities, and they're not Rams fans. They're not Chargers fans. They're just there.
Yeah, I am at the point where I'm like, I have no faith in any of the teams outside of the playoffs right now in the AFC. I think it's like
No, they're all like 4 wins. I think the next closest after the Broncos is like 4 or 5 wins.
it's the Colts. It's the Colts have, I think,
6 maybe 5, 6.
Colts.
And
Yeah,
they play the Colts right off the bye, so we get a bye week to prepare for the Colts. We play the Colts right after the bye.
I
So
think
that game
too this week. Actually,
that game, yeah, who's gonna prepare better though, Sean or Shane? No, Sean or Shane.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the thing though, is that game's gonna so that's the good thing is we play the Colts and the Bengals this season. So those games literally can push us up ahead 2 games against teams that we're competing with that are already behind us. Because if you win, now you have the head-to-head, so they can't tie you. They have to beat you.
right.
And then we also play the Chargers, which they did on Thursday Night Football. So that's another wild card team. So and the Chiefs. So we literally have 4 of the next 5 games against playoff teams right now. Well, teams that are in the playoffs or teams that think they're competing for a playoff spot. They'll find out soon that they're not, but they think they are. The last game we had Raiders at the Chiefs on Black Friday. Now this one we had another unfortunate ending. You know, we had a fumble leading to the inability to kick a field goal, leading to a loss of 2 points. Raiders really could have won this game.
There's a contingent of the football watching public that still think that was a false start at the end. Like, I still keep seeing people be like, that was a false start. That play shouldn't have counted. And it's like, that was an illegal shift. I don't, the illegal shift is a live ball, my guy. Like, I don't know. So continue, but I keep seeing people acting like that play was called wrong.
Well, I'll say this. The quarterback for the Raiders did say that it was his fault. He took full responsibility.
It was.
So
it was.
It was. Whether the play is live or not, you got to hold that rock.
Yeah.
You hold that shit.
It hit you right in the chest. You weren't looking. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a weird ending, but
and the Chiefs, man, they keep getting away with this. It's like that meme. They keep getting away with this.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was what it was. But I have a question from this game that I got prompted that I was really thinking on. I was sitting on in the car. Man, is the AFC West, and I'm ready to go to battle on this hill right now, is the AFC West the best division in football right now?
No, it's the NFC North. I think they're the best in the AFC, but it's the NFC North.
It's the NFC North. So you think the Lions, Packers, and the Vikings, they line up better than the Broncos, Chargers, and the Chiefs, pound for pound?
Yes. And then if you want to throw in the Bears over the Raiders as well.
I know the Raiders. That's a close toss-up. I know the Raiders are bad, but the Chiefs make up for the Chiefs almost like double the Raiders. So it's like we have 3 good teams.
Yeah, but if the Chiefs are the best team in the league, like the Lions are probably
the best team in the league, and we got 2
best.
playoff teams.
Right, and they have 2 playoff teams that are better records. The Vikings have 10 wins,
team in the league.
and the Vikings have 10 wins, and the Packers have 9. And like a lot of their losses are them just beating up on each other. Like, yeah, I would say by a smidge, it's still the NFC North. And I'm a big AFC North is the best division guy, but like this season it's not.
Mark this down right here. You ready for this? There's going to be, we're just making predictions. There's going to be more AFC West teams in the AFC Championship game than there will be NFC North teams in the NFC Championship game. Because I think we could have 2 AFC West teams in the championship game.
I think it's very much more likely that there would be 2 NFC North teams than there would be 2 AFC West teams.
I don't know.
I feel
man.
like that's way more likely.
I don't know. The jury's still out, and we don't have Marquise here to decide. So, sake of a stalemate, because even if you could prove me wrong, I wouldn't listen. And because I'm right, we're gonna have to end it right here.
You're the winner. You win, I guess.
We'll
give you the dub on this one.
All right, it's up there though. It's like this. If you take away
close.
that Vikings great start and they played like they're playing now all season, it'd be the AFC West. And the Packers aren't even that good. Honestly.
Packers are 9-3.
They don't look 9-3.
They are though.
But they don't. They don't look it. I'm watching them. They don't look 9-3.
The Packers lost to. They've only lost to good teams. The Packers have lost to like the Lions, the Eagles.
But even in their wins, they're struggling. Like they're not winning convincingly. They're like Jordan Love looks like he took a step back from last year.
He looks about as good as he did last year to me. I'm like, I always thought that Jordan Love was a little overrated, but he's like good. Like he is a really good quarterback, but he's probably like the 10th best quarterback in the league. Like there were people that were ready to crown him like that he's on the same level as like what CJ Stroud was doing last year, and I just didn't see that. But I mean, that's a good team. They're better than I thought they were going to be. They're legitimately a threat. Josh Jacobs is playing really well. Their receivers, like while they don't have the really top heavy receiver room, they have probably the deepest receiver room of like how, except for maybe the Niners, of like how many competent guys you have that at any given point could break big, and have a great game. And they're like, yeah, I mean, that's a legitimate team. Their defense is way better than it was last year. And I'm not a guy who is going to ding you for winning close and winning ugly. Like, there are teams that win and there are teams that don't. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but you can't accept in a win what you wouldn't in a loss. So you also still have to reflect on those mistakes.
Yeah, they make mistakes. They're a flawed team, but they're a good team. They're a really good team.
I think Josh Jacobs is the key for them. They can pound him. They got a chance.
Yeah, I think the Packers are the second best team in that conference or in that division. Like, I think that. Like, I don't think I would take. Yeah, I would. I don't think I would take the. Well, because I just thought in my head, if the Chargers played the Vikings, who would I? Well, no. Here's what I'm saying. If the Chargers played the Vikings, I would pick the Chargers. But if the Chargers played the Packers, I would pick the Packers.
That is. Hold on. Before I finalize the cap, did you say the Packers are better than the Vikings, or they're better than the second best team in the AFC West?
No, I said that the Packers are better than the Vikings.
Oh, okay. Yep, that is cap.
Yeah, I think that the Packers are better than the Vikings by a little bit. Not by a ton, but
okay.
I think at any given moment the Packers scare me more as a threat to win against any given team more than the Vikings do.
If you say so, man. If you say so. I think it's cap. We're going to get a poll on this. We're going to see what people think. Listen, put this up in the comments. Put this up in the captions right now. 2 questions for you. 1, is the AFC West better than the NFC North? And why is it yes? And question number 2, are the Packers better than the Vikings? We need to get a poll on this. We're going to run the results on this. I need to know across all socials. We're getting a poll because I don't know, Johnny. We need to get a little jury involved here.
It's really close. It's just like, what do you? Yeah, it's just like in the fourth quarter, like down 7, down 6. Like, who do I think? Who am I more scared to win that game? And it's like, I think the Packers.
Sam Darnold.
The Packers will win that game.
Damn Sarnold.
Damn Sarnold's not terrible.
Sarnold.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love got some juice. I don't think that Sam Darnold has that juice.
Okay. I don't know. What is juice? You know, just a metaphorical thing. Jaden Daniels got the juice. You know what I'm saying? Shador Sanders has the juice. Couch Coach Pod has the juice. With that being said, we're gonna wrap up because we gotta go to bed. It's 2 a.m.
Oh,
I'm
I
tired.
have to say,
John's
I have
tired.
to say the last thing I want to leave our people with before we wrap it up.
What do you got to
This is
say?
Very important.
Speak
Very
now,
important
forever
part.
hold your peace.
When I said Reggie White, I meant
Hold
Julius
up,
Peppers.
hold up. Go back. We're gonna ISO cam. Hold up.
All right, folks.
Let him know.
When I
Let him
said
know.
Reggie White, who I was thinking of was Julius Peppers. I got them mixed up. I knew there was a very good D-back that was drafted very early in the 2000s, and I don't know why I said Reggie White. Reggie White died in the early 2000s. Julius Peppers was who I meant, who I was thinking of, but for some reason the wires got crossed. I say D-back. Well, I meant to say as a defensive player. I meant to say pass rusher, but yeah. Regardless, yes, Reggie White was not who I meant to say, but it's forever on video that I said Reggie White was drafted in the 2000s. So shout out to me. Shout out to Couch Coach.
Listen, modern era, old era, dead, alive, D-back, pass rusher. You were wrong, my brother. But we'll give you the validation. You were able to discover your mistake, and like a man or a very strong female, you admitted when you were wrong.
I admitted when I'm wrong, and I deserve to lose in that segment. I deserve to
So
lose an
close.
answer like that.
This man, in conclusion, this man would have won if he just went with the gut. So wrapping up, if you take anything from this, go with your gut.
Unless it's
100%
on
of the
question
time.
3, then doubt your gut.
Unless it's on question 3. But if you fail the test because of question 3, don't sue us. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Couch Coach the Podcast, featuring an all-star staff of the best to never do it. Remember, without a couch, you're just a coach. Without a coach, it's just a couch. With both, you're one of us. Remember, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you got some shit to say, leave a comment. We might give you your flowers, or we might call Cap. So that shit best not be whack. It's Johnny, it's Coogii, your favorite couch coaches. Till next week.
All right, good night, beautiful people.